Welcome back, everyone, to the FFR Summer Rando Marathon. This summer, we are in support of the Liam Foundation. Originally started back in 2015, their mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA plus community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Their recent work involves an expansion of their facility in June of 2023. They are now offering services including open mic nights, name change clinics, adult peer support groups, and more. If you like what you see tonight, go ahead and donate. It's a very worthy cause. All the donations go to charity. Also, if you donate at least $20, you'll be entered into the drawing for the steampunk calligraphy set that you see on screen. Um, but we are about to start our overnight relay race block. It's going to be several races back to back. We're going to be going from Final Fantasy V Career Day into Chrono Trigger Jets of Time into Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Before I hand it over, we got a couple donations from during the break. We got $100 from Sonny Wrath. As promised, here's the $100. Let's increase the difficulty and put the rest to dating Marin. I talked with Sonny Wrath about it because the Marin incentive was filled, and instead that went to no hinting for time spinner pieces for the time spinner race. And then we also got $100 from Saracen. We may not be sponsored by the Yeti like GDQ, but that doesn't mean we can't have Best Yeti. Put this towards Umaro as starting character for the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race tomorrow afternoon. And with that, I'm going to hand this over. Dreiselizer and Windfox, take it away.
Hey there, everybody. Great to be with you again. This is Final Fantasy V Career Day Randomizer, and guess what? The runners have already started. Windfox, he may be with me. He may be in the race room getting them started, but this is the standard opening, which is Loot Tycoon Castle. We're doing what's called what we call a standard seed here. That means we're going to have all the racers start with one tablet and with World 2 open, and pretty soon they're going to actually go to World 2, check Kuza Castle, grab 3 of the 12 items there to sort of give them a kickstart to get going. We're just going to try and keep our eyes peeled on 3 races at once here. The first leg of this 3-leg relay, and we'll try and keep an eye on hints and also key items and keep you all updated on who's leading and who's doing interesting things in the race. Windfox, feel free to jump in at any moment
Yeah, how
if
you
you're
doing,
there.
Dry? Yeah, I'm here just
I'm doing
making sure
good.
the runners are up and going. Yep, I have my notes up ready to go. That way we can keep track of the, like you said, the hints throughout the race.
We just got a hint, by the way. Solitary Island Shrine is on the path to the void. That's a great hint. It means we need to get access to World 3, which is where that shrine is. So it'll be a little while before we get to go there. But whatever we find in there in terms of key items, it will either be a tablet. We need to collect all 4 tablets to get all the way through the void and finish the game, or it will be a key item that leads to one of the tablets. And like I said before, we do have one tablet already. We're about to get a hint right here on Joe's side. After, I guess, gonna do some shopping first, but I gotta keep my eyes close on this so I don't miss what his hint is here in Rugor.
Yeah, most of the early game is a lot of shopping, checking shops, seeing if you get some early money, finding spells, equipment, summons, anything you could possibly need to at least start clearing the early part of the game to get through your hints and finding what you need.
Another really good hint: catapult is path to the void. So that is, anytime you get a path to the void hint, that tells you exactly where you need to go and what chain you need to continue along to get the tablets to eventually get go mode. So another really nice hint there that Joe just found. We're going to get another hint in the library and IB Karma's screen. This librarian is going to give us a hint in just a second. Waltz Meteor, Path to the Void, really good hints. We might have quite a seat here. Getting 3 Path to the Void hints right away is really good. Meanwhile, Joe is in Kuza Castle. Like I said, he's going to get 3 options with one tablet here. So he's just checking the 12 options. He's going to take what he thinks are the 3 best ones. X fight he's considering, and he's getting that one. Very strong attack ability. I think that was summon 4, which is very good. That gets you everything except the highest tier. And Odin, oh my gosh, summon 4 and Odin is an incredible start. And I actually missed a hint as I was talking about that. Zoc. We'll have to keep an eye out for what Zoc's hint is.
Yeah, I missed it as well. I was looking at the Kuza checks there. Yeah, Summon with Odin is probably one of the best starts you'll ever see. A lot of instant kill potential in the early game. One of the higher cost mana costs for summons, but can definitely do a lot of work early.
Yeah, you win 1 or 2 fights. Maybe it might only take 1, and then you can start using Odin. Oh, also the slash ability in the beginner's house is extremely strong, sort of similar to Odin. Doesn't cost any MP at all, just not quite as powerful as Odin, which can do lots of damage too. And so probably Freddy's going to show us that Zoc hint soon, unless I think he already was the one who did it. Maybe Joe will show it to us.
Yeah, the goblin monster in a box there actually had the mimic ability, so that will likely see use in the late game as well.
Yeah, Mimic can be really strong late as long as you've built up a couple good jobs sort of along the way. Start with a white mage start, which is not great in terms of power, but we're picking up powerful things that we can do, so it probably won't be too much of a problem. Uh, there could be a little bit of early game difficulty, but then I think we're going to be off and rolling.
All right, so I do have my eye set on Joe's screen for that hint, so we know what it is because we've already missed 2 runners on it.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens early on, and it's really hard to keep track of 3 screens. I'm good at keeping track of 1, and then I do commentary for races, and there's 2 usually, and now 3 makes it extra tough. So, Windfox and I are going to cooperate on this and try and get them all.
Yeah, one thing that I saw Joe that I'm assuming everyone else grabbed was Shoat was purchasable in Tool. Antibarrier in World 1, that was the Zoc hint.
Anti-Bear World 1 is required. We'll have to find it. It's part of what gives you access to Exdeath's Castle, and you have to clear Exdeath's Castle in this flag set to get access to World 3. So there will be some searching around in to find that anti-barrier in World 1. I see people in the Wind Shrine. That is typically the first boss check. It's going to be coming up very soon.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've actually played this game, so a lot of the HP values I've kind of forgotten, but I still know the game, so.
Saw another hint there. 4th tablet is in World 3. That is also pretty handy to know. It's a little bit vague, but at least we know the world that one of the tablets is in, and we will be investigating. It might be sort of a double hint about that island shrine, but we don't know that for sure yet. We have to sort of suss out the logic puzzle as we go. Okay, so Joe is taking on the boss at the Wind Shrine. This is the first boss fight of the seat, and it's Go-Go, which means that's a free fight. You just have to wait it out. Or is he going to reset and come back when he can do 250 damage and kill it? I think there's a decision to be made, but it looks like he's going to just stick there and wait it out.
Yeah, I think he pulled it once and reset out.
Oh, did he? I missed it if he
Yeah.
already was there. Okay. Oh, tried to do the gust. That's not good because now he's going to get multiple meteoed. He went with the terrain attack, which is a geomancer skill, but it only did about half the damage that it needs to. There's a chance that someone might live and get a turn. Yes, okay. Second one, got it. All right. Joe knows what he's doing. Got through even though 2 people went down. If you queue everybody up, you can get a turn in before Go-Go goes again and meteos you again.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't wait that out with his ATB and just pop all four at one time and kind of stack the queue. That's something we'll probably see our runners do later in the seed is ATB stacking to prevent certain skills and abilities from going off.
By the way, IB Karma defeated Gilgamesh 1 at the Bal Castle Gate. He used Odin and killed him, so got a lot of experience in a lot of levels. Submarine Key is in... I missed that hint. Submarine Key something.
It was either World 1 or World 2. Hopefully someone in chat caught that one. I'm pretty sure it's sub key in World 1.
Yeah, I think it's World 1 as well. That's a very useful key item. A submarine key opens a lot of checks. So very handy to do. And Freddy's about to do that same check. It seems like everyone knows that, well, if I have Odin, I can win this early World 2 fight. It's the easiest fight in World 2, but it's quite a few hit points. So it gets you a lot of levels real quick. And you can try slashing as well. What you don't want to do is make Gilgamesh 1 retreat, because if he retreats, you win the fight, but you don't get the experience. Okay, so Freddy does get experience on 3 people there by slashing him. That's an instant kill, and it gives a ribbon. I saw before, no key item, but lots of levels and experience.
Yeah, ribbon will definitely be useful a little bit later in the game, but we'll probably end up selling it off, would be my guess.
Yeah, it's hard because ribbon is nice, but so early on you might need money to get more important sort of pressing, more immediately useful things. Alright, we're going to see this hint again just to confirm. Ancient Library, Path to the Void, is that what it said?
Sure did.
Kelger? Alright.
Alright,
Well,
so we have...
I believe that, yeah, people will be heading to the Void in World 1. I'm sorry, headed to the library in World 1, and, you know, there is a second library check as well, but you don't want to miss out on potential important first check. So unless the Ifrit's Fire key item is found early, we may end up single dipping or even double dipping the library.
Yeah, we've already seen 4 of our Path to the Void hints, 4 of the 5 that we're guaranteed to see at some point, and none of the Baron checks yet, so we have a lot in World 1. I have a feeling we're going to be full clearing World 1 before even touching World 2 for the most part.
Joe going for the catapult check, and this is Biblos there. Now, we got a hint saying that catapult is Path to the Void, so this is definitely a check that you want to do. Odin was not enough to kill, but if we can cast one more Odin, we'll finish him off, because this is only 2,000 hit points here. Pretty easy check, actually. And Biblos is going to talk for a little while, but eventually he will crumble away.
So yeah, it looks like the only hints we don't have from World 1 so far is the Karnak and Walls Castle, from the notes I've been scribbling down as they're running.
Did you, I don't think we've been to the library yet. There is a hint there as well. We'll just do that, get that hint as we explore the library. Steamship Key was at the catapult. So we will probably chase that, because it's nice to be able to do the steamship and the Karnak escape early. There's good loot in the Karnak escape, and we know that it's Path to the Void as well. So that's where I expect Joe to go. Pretty soon. Not necessarily next. He might want to do some of the quick and easy and good HP, good leveling meteors, like the Karnak meteor, where he's camped out of right now. He might do that first, but he'll be going to the steamship pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not doing the Waltz Meteor first. It's a little bit easier than the Karnak one. Plus, it is one of our Path to the Void hints.
It is. You know what, though, Winfox? It's been a while since you played, and there was an update that made Waltz Meteor have 3,000 hit points instead of 1,500. So it actually is a little bit
Oh.
harder than this current one that Joe's doing. But yeah, he may go there next. Iron there, shoatable, yes. Or you can use do damage with summons. Shoat is going to instant kill her. And this is an important check for Joe. Oh no, this is not necessarily important. This one has not been hinted, but we'll see what he gets out of it. Sandworm bait. Well, could check that. It's not very difficult.
I mean, it's something. You know, it's another open check.
It's a pretty
We'll
quick
see.
one too. Yeah. I mean, we need to get levels. He's going straight there. It's not necessarily hinted, but it is probably going to be an easily winnable fight for him. So you need to build up some levels and power and stuff. And it's Golem there, which is actually really nice because we have Summon 4. What we can do is just defeat the dragons that are going to turn on Golem right now here. And if we can save him, he will join us. Demon's Eye can kill the bone dragon up top, and then we have to figure out how to take out the zombie dragon down below.
Yeah, hopefully we get lucky with the Odin and targeting the zombie dragon and not the golem.
By the way, I've kind of missed it, but Karma got through Gogo. Freddy is taking on Gogo. Did you see if Karma was able to defeat Gogo? He probably was, right?
Yeah, he was in and out pretty quick because he was pulling Gogo right as Joe was entering the desert, and that was maybe 45 seconds ago. So
I just need to mention an interesting development here on Joe's side. He just reset because he accidentally killed Golem. He might have slashed him. I'm not sure what he did, or maybe he used Odin and it hit the wrong target. So he has to try this fight again. We really want Golem for safety. Meanwhile, Freddy does get past Gogo as well. So we need to keep Golem alive while we kill these two undead dragons that are bothering him. That's fairly important. Even if this isn't a required check, it's just really nice to have Golem the ability to protect yourself from all physicals, which is what Golem does. Okay, Joe has managed to do that, and now Golem says thanks for helping me, and I'm going to join you, and we'll be able to summon him.
yeah, got a nice 3,000 hit point shield. Unless that's been nerfed because it's kind of overpowered, I feel.
The Golem, the amount of HP Golem has is based on your level. It starts at a minimum, I think, of 2,000, or is it 1,000? And then it goes up as you level. So
I mean, even
it is
a lot.
pretty OP. Yeah. It's really good, even at base. And it just gets a little bit better as you level up. IB Karma taking on Califasteri, one of the Void bosses, using Odin's Gungnir. He'll never true edge her because she has the heavy flag, but Gungnir is basically single target Bahamut damage, really good, and she goes down. My gosh, simultaneous boss fights on everybody's screen here. We got Apocalypse and Freddy's screen. We've got the gargoyles, which kind of need to die close together over on Joe's screen. Looks like that will work out. And Freddy has already defeated Apocalypse, I think. Just need to wait for the crumble here.
Alright, so
Keep our eyes open on what we get.
Karma got the Elder Branch from the Waltz Meteor, so that means we need to go to the Moor Forest or Fork Tower.
Yikes. Okay, the canal did not have anything. I missed what was at the meteor for Joe. You said Elder Branch was at Waltz?
Yeah, the Waltz Meteor, which we know is Path to the Void.
Right, so that's a dreaded path, just because the Elder Branch, the forest itself could have the key item, or it means you replace Galuf with Kara, and we have to go to Fork Tower in World 3, which is can be a difficult check to do. A lot of racers sort of dread going to the Fork Tower.
The meme for Fork Tower is everybody's last locating it, because it is, like you said, can be difficult or can be borderline impossible sometimes.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too tough, but sometimes, yeah, it can be pretty rough. Like, you might just get unlucky and die and have to try again, and maybe even again and again. But it's because you're short-handed, you know. You only have 2 characters on each side, and they need to win those fights. So you definitely need to be prepared. If it's an easy boss, it's usually not that big of a deal, but it can be rough. Fork Tower loot, though, has been upgraded in a little while ago, so there is good stuff inside there to sort of incentivize people to go there a little earlier. Joe is doing the steamship, as we talked about before. He's about to fight the steamship boss, who is Gilgamesh 2. Freddy fighting Adam and Timmy. You can Odin Adam and Timmy at this is the ship graveyard. Very low hit points, so it shouldn't be too hard to get this victory here.
I think this is 500 or 600 hit points, vanilla siren spot.
It's actually 900, but a few titans here. Yeah, we'll do it.
As you meant in
Let's
chat,
see if he gets anything.
yeah, as you meant in chat, Channing, saying that the Rando has set Golem to a flat 3000. So, it's still really good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Moogle suit from the steamship is not a. It is a key item that it doesn't unlock anything, but it does unlock really good loot. Some excellent loot that we can get for free there. I think it's like 7 treasure chests, so that's nice to see, and we can work that in with some of the World 2 checks when we go there.
Yeah, we got the steamship key from the catapult, which we know is Path to the Void, which means it's going to be this Karnak escape sequence that's going to have our Path to the Void item. So we're going to get some sort of progression that leads us further, or one of our 4 required tablets.
Yeah, I'm just following the progression, the chain. That's absolutely right. Keep an eye out for the loot in the Karnak escape. Some of this stuff can be pretty good. The monster in a box fights, which is what Joe is taking right now, have a chance to have the best loot of the bunch. Odin is a little bit overkill for these fights. Hopefully we won't run out of MP spamming Odin, but we don't have a whole lot of other stuff. You can go quite far just spamming Odin in Career Day. It's one of the most powerful things there is. So this is a heck of a lot of power that our racers have. Freddy going with Titan. I can only assume that he didn't go to Kuza yet and didn't grab Odin. Did you happen to notice what he was up to in the early game, Windfox?
No, I haven't seen him. I did not see him go to Kuza at all. Otherwise, I'm sure he would be casting Odin as well.
Yeah, that must be it.
I mean, that's not to say that Titan isn't good. Karma checked a hint. I missed what it was, but I'm guessing you saw what it was.
I was looking right at it, but it's so fast that I missed it. It said something about castle areas. It's possible that castle areas are barren. That might have been what it said, but I think I have to wait on somebody else to go there to be sure. Because unless someone in chat saw it, I think it said something about castle areas.
If I remember the hint system correctly, if it designates a specific type of area, like 99% of the time, it means all of those slots are nothing.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I'm not 100% on it, but that would be. I'd like to. No, the Karnak escape is actually categorized as burning, Z-Man, so it's not a castle location. In fact, we know it has to give a key item that is on the Path to the Void here. But there are definitely other castle areas like the Walls Castle and Extet's Castle and stuff, which it seems like are going to be barren. And it was anti-barrier
Double hinted.
at Karnak. Escape. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. So we've got another meteor check here with IB Karma. I think this is one we've already seen from other racers. Yeah, Siren. So this is the, I think it was the Karnak meteor, and a quick shout. Really nice summon to have along with Odin is petrifying things for another type of instant kill. Let's see. I don't actually have this Karnak hint. About to get one from Joe. Flying Lonkaroons have big bridge key. That may or may not be important, but I will write it down. We haven't really had any hints pointing us to actually go to the Flying Lonkaroons, so we'll have to see whether that's
Yeah.
a deeply buried sort of check or not. Okay, Joe is going to the Moogle Waterway. This is an efficient thing to do because when you're done with this check, you can go right to the Moogle village afterwards. So I would consider that good routing on his part. He's doing this very efficiently as long as he can win this fight, and it's only got 5,000 hit points in this spot. So I imagine, unless it's really rough, he will be able to win the battle.
With Odin, should be relatively easy. We're gonna be seeing Odin for easily the first hour to hour and a half of this race from all the runners.
Necrophobia, not the greatest enemy to see, not particularly dangerous, but it might be a bit of a slow fight. You can shoot the individual barriers but although that can miss. I think shoot is maybe the way to go here, just because it uses less MP, and Odin could hit Necro himself, it would just be a wasted cast there because he's invulnerable until the barriers are gone. Question from the chat from Z-Man: have our racers found another job, Crystal? Well, I see everybody just as 4 white mages. I don't know if anyone has bothered to pick up another job. Maybe Freddy? It's possible they bought one. It's possible they found one. It's just hard to see everything that's happening. And they're sticking with a mage job right now because it's good for, Odin power and such.
Well, I know at one point Freddy had 2 Berserkers active, so I don't know if he found the Berserker class or had done something to
I
get
think he had
Berserk?
the Berserk ability. Tool Pass, Path of the Void from Guido. Wow, really good hint. So many Path of the Void hints. I think that's all of them.
That is all 5.
Our racers basically know where to go, and it's just a question of how long are these chains going to be that they need to find in order to complete the seed. But really incredible direction hints. I'm not going to say that it will be a jet seed. You don't know for sure, but it's kind of looking like it could be one. Oh, there's Tyrannosaurus, another non-heavy boss. We're going to use a Phoenix down here. You can also try Odin. Phoenix down can miss, unfortunately. But IB Karma gets it on the second try. Freddy finally went to Kuza much later than the other 2 racers. I do think that puts him at an disadvantage. The library had the bracelet, so that is full access to Castle X Death requires both anti-barrier and bracelet. So our racers will need to go both of those places to get those things.
All right, and Joe, in the Moogle Village, going to be getting some relatively higher tier checks. I know over the last year it's been scaled down slightly, but he gets X magic right away, which is a top tier ability right off the bat.
Very nice. What else? 6 things in this room here. Alright, he's checking Shinryu's weakness, which is a interesting little blue ability in here. Phoenix, which we can't use because that requires summon 5 and dual wield. So really nice stuff. I would maybe diversify my team a little bit to use some blue magic or something instead of all summons all the time, but we'll see. See what Joe decides to do. It looks like he's actually going to go right into Exodus Castle. No, he doesn't have
He doesn't have
bracelet,
the
but he
bracelet,
might be
yeah.
checking the anti-barrier. Yeah, because you can go inside and check the basement. No, he changed his mind, used the warp shard, gonna go somewhere else. Meanwhile, Freddy taking on Necro, and I did not write down if there was a reward from the Moogle Waterway. I don't know if you saw that when Joe did it.
I did not know.
We'll catch it from Freddy then. As long as he can win this fight here. So Joe getting that tool pass hint, and he's also got blue ability. He wants to learn level 5 Doom here so he can make good use of the blue ability and do some death by math instant kills perhaps. At the top of this library, there's a book fight, and the second enemy in the book, page 64, can teach you that spell. I assume he's got somebody who is a multiple of 5 to learn it.
Alright, looks
There we
like our
go.
racers are retracing their steps. Right now, kind of going through each of their steps. I think it's a good time to pass it over to our host, Lord Fizzleby, for a minute or two, read off some donations, give a shout out.
Sure. We haven't had any new donations come in, so I'm just going to take a moment to talk about the charity real quick. The charity we are supporting for this marathon is the Liam Foundation. Work with them originally started back in 2015. Their mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Recently, on 6/1/24, they participated in the first Pride Parade in Rockford, Illinois, where they're located. They're currently focusing all their efforts on their new space, opened in June of 2023, and really expanding the events that they're performing there, which include name change clinics, open mic nights, adult peer support groups, even D&D groups. All donations go towards the charity. It's a very worthy cause. Please, if you like what you see on the screen, think about kicking a couple bucks their way. Thank you.
Thank you, Fizzle.
Yep, great to be a part of this charity. Both us and us commentators and the racers support it. In fact, I was doing commentary for part of this charity last year as well, on almost the same day 1 year ago.
Yeah, I think last year I did a run. I was involved in a run last year. I was involved in a run actually at like 5 o'clock this morning my time. And I think I did commentary for FF5 last year as well, in the race that happened last year.
Excellent. I'm just keeping an eye on the race because there was a couple things I missed when other racers were doing some of these checks here. So we're just going to fill in the blanks here of what information we might be missing. For example, necrophobia. By the way, Joe had a terrible book fight at the top of the library when we weren't talking about it, and it was a good thing that we weren't talking about it. That was really rough, but he did get through. He got the unlucky fight every single page in the book sort of fight, so it took a while, but he's got those key items, so he can go into Excess Castle if he wants. Freddy, I'm waiting for him to defeat Necro so I can see what the reward is at that spot because I missed it before.
So I know Karma did the North Mountain, and got a magic rod for it. So there's nothing at North Mountain.
Yes, I also noticed that. It was a bit of a womp check, but pretty quick and easy one to do it. So he didn't lose much time or anything there. We'll see if other people even bother to go to North Mountain though. With all these hints that we have, you can kind of focus on chasing those. I think that was a blue mage crystal that Joe just found. He already has the blue ability, so it's not all that useful. Freddy down to one character left. He does have an elixir if he needs to use it. Oh, okay. So Necro really slowed down Freddy there. That was a long fight that he wasn't able to win. He does have Monk, so there is a little job variety, at least on Freddy's screen, for the viewers that are looking for that. That was a really unfortunate fight for Freddy, and it looks like he's just going to go to the library and forget about Necro for a while. Oh, actually, he's going to do Catapult because he hasn't done that check yet. And Joe just found the Night Crystal.
Yeah, let's mention that's our first like decent melee physical job that we found.
I remember in Kuza, X-Fight was there, so if we have a decent Knight Sword, we could set somebody up on the team to be sort of our physical damage dealer with the X-Fight ability. That could be a nice way to sort of round out the team.
And I know Joe did pick up that X-Fight. He picked that up, the Summon 4 and the Odin, so he has that X-Fight ready to go. I haven't seen any swords of use. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen any swords either, but it's easy to miss. Leviathan here could be rough depending on what it counters with. I think it's probably going to counter just with Aqua Rake. But a couple Aqua Rakes will kill this team, and that was an unlucky 1/3 chance to counter that already happened with Leviathan here. So this could get a little hairy. This is like this location has 12,000 hit points, and so that we're gonna have to use Odin, 6 times, and another Aqua Rake counter would wipe the team. Joe is gonna think about how, if he wants to retry this fight or just go somewhere else. He'll probably try and retry it with a little bit different configuration if his team can, if he thinks his team can actually win.
Maybe?
I do remember seeing that Excal. Thanks for Dragon Lord Carter pointing that out. I do remember seeing the Excal. It was unclear to me whether anyone actually picked it up, but people did go into the Chicken Knife Brave Blade spot, and at least one of the runners saw that there was an Excalibur there. I'm just not sure if they actually took that sword. But that would be a nice one for the knight to use with X-Fight.
It looks like he's going to go with the Drain Sword Berserk. Nope, looks like he took Berserk off, and he's going to go with that X-Fight.
I think he put maybe Ice Brand. Was that the best sword that I saw in his inventory? Let's see. Yeah, that looks like the Ice Brand. Oh, he's not. He's berserking rather than X-Fighting is what he's doing. So he's got the Drain Sword. If you actually put the Drain Sword on, you can X-Fight with it, and that's a really good way for the Drain Sword to actually hit. If you're not X-Fighting with it, it has a 25% hit rate, and it's just going to miss most of the time. So that would have been a really good time to put X-Fight on Lena there, because then she would do 4 hits, and it's a funky formula that uses magic, but it would be pretty decent actually. See if Joe can get through this while we keep an eye on what's happening on the other screens. These are Karma and Freddy's checks have already sort of been seen by us, I believe, although I'll make sure right now. Yeah, we have seen the gargoyles. I believe this is at the Lonka Meteor. I don't have anything written down as to what was there, though. I might have missed it.
I know we had the Flying Lonka Ruins, had the big bridge key, but that's all we have for that area.
Yeah, Well, I think we'll see shortly if Freddy can get through this. He's got his Titan, which is an AoE attack, and this is a low hit point spot, 3,500 hit points. So yeah, he was just able to take him down in a couple Titans. Let's see what the reward is. Wonder Rod, so not a key item, just some experience from Lonka Meteor. Let's take a look over at IB Karma, taking on Carbuncle with Odin's, and kills him in what looks like sort of a castle-y spot. What is? Oh yeah, this was at the Karnak Escape. How did I not even notice what boss was there earlier? We have already covered the Karnak Escape. Well, I think Joe had to reset. Yeah, another reset out of Leviathan. Leviathan can be one of the nastiest bosses in the randomizer, and Joe is going to nope out from fighting Leviathan completely. He's got all these really good hints. Chances are he doesn't need to defeat that Leviathan. Certainly not now. He can go other places that are more sort of important to the logic of the seed.
Yeah, he got to a point in that fight where both of his casters ended up dying, and Leviathan went on just a string of Aqua rate counters, so it ended up dropping him pretty quick. I'm surprised he didn't give it one more attempt with the X fight on Lena, and then the Berserk on Bartz.
Well, maybe he'll find a stronger sword as he goes, and maybe he will come back. But I have a feeling that he's going to have plenty of other sort of path of the void type checks to do in the meantime, and he may or may not need to even come back. I will say IB Karma making an interesting play going to Moor Forest. There is some pretty good loot in here. There's quite a few chests, and they're decent, mid-tier sort of chests. And he's probably going to try and zig when he thinks the other races are zagging and take this high HP boss check a little bit earlier than a lot of other people would.
Well, he knows that it is required, so he's going to get something here, or it'll tell him the unfortunate news of a required fork seed.
Indeed. Now, Joe just got the branch, which would give him access to Moor Forest, where IB Karma is. And so now they both know that this is a, required check. How soon will Joe go there, though? It looks like what he's doing is going to Walls Tower. Don't think there's any hint about Walls Tower, so this is just a sort of a blind check. But it's really easy to win this fight, really low hit points. And it's also really easy to accidentally climb that vine, just like Joe did, if you're trying to blaze up to the top of the tower as fast as you can. You got to remember to dodge that vine. Ooh, Bahamut in this spot. Oh, he can be so mean here. This could be rough. The only reason it's so rough is because there's so many hit points here. It's over 31,000. And Bahamut, that gives him plenty of time to use plenty of spells on you, including Flare and even Mega Flare. So this is a little bit of an RNG sort of hope to get lucky situation, if you ask me, for IB Karma right now.
Yeah, he's racing this boss now for, the flame's going to do a little bit of damage, but that's fine. It's the Mega Flare that he's racing at this point.
Yeah, it's basically a damage race, as Windfox is talking about. We want to pump out as much damage as we can, and we want to defeat Bahamut before Mega Flare happens. If we're lucky, Flare will happen instead, and that can only kill one person, so that's not so bad. If Mega Flare happens, it will kill everyone. So that would just be an immediate loss. Maelstrom, not good. It takes us down to single digits. So any sort of attack that Bahamut does now that hits the whole team will probably kill the whole team. It was that castle area, that hint was that castle areas have no value. So castle areas barren.
So what I
got that hint that we didn't quite catch before. Sorry, go ahead.
So what I would do in Karma's situation to kind of save a little bit of MP is I would have one person with the summon, and he has the mimic ability. There's that Mega Flare that we were talking about. Instantly wipes the party for 2,500 damage. I would have one person with summon, and then the other people with that mimic ability that we have to conserve that MP.
I think that Karma is going to retreat for now. This is a situation where you might want to come back with a little more diversified power. He could do the strat that you're talking about, but your damage output is not increased. You're just saving on MP.
Yeah.
So you still don't know for sure. You're still rolling the dice as to whether you can win or not. If he comes back a little stronger next time, then he'll have more damage output. So he can come back later. The nice thing is that he's already fully looted the forest and he saved before doing that fight, so he doesn't have to re-loot the forest or anything like that. He's looking for power by visiting the Moogle Forest, which is a good idea.
So I know they have the Sing ability. I think they found that in one of the chests in Ball Castle, I want to say, super early on. I wouldn't be surprised if they're holding out for possibly finding the Love Song.
Yeah, Love Song is how you lock down Bahamut and give him little to no turns because he cannot resist the Love Song at all, and it inflicts stop status on him. So that would be a great way to defeat Bahamut. I've noticed our friend Fitz in the chat talking about X Magic, which is something that at least some of our racers have found. Where was it that we found X Magic? I don't remember, but I
Moogle
do know that
Village.
someone has it. Oh yeah, yeah. So you could do like what you were saying, Winfox, which is have a mimic. You could X Magic Odin, and then you could mimic that, and that would be a lot of MP saved and a lot of damage output. Although the other day I saw somebody try and mimic a double summon. I wasn't sure if it actually worked. Should work though.
I don't see why it wouldn't work. I know other Final Fantasy titles it works. I mean, FF5 is programmed different than the rest of the Final Fantasy series, so...
Yeah, it can be quirky. Oh, you know what it was? Because they were trying to do X Magic double Meteo, and there is a bug that doesn't allow that, but the other things should work fine. Sub key, how come I don't have that written down? I should have that written down. Where did we get that sub key from just now? It's in World 1 at Tycoon Meteor, maybe?
Yeah, I
Where
think
we were.
so. That sounds right, yeah. Looking at my notes. Because we were hinted it was in World 1, we just didn't know where it was at.
Yeah. And looking at some other hints, I do not necessarily know if we're going to need that subkey to complete the seed, but it certainly allows us access to a number of places that we can do checks for. So it could prove to be essential, but we don't know for sure yet. IB Karma taking on Necrophobia. This is the boss that Joe was able to kill, Freddy was not able to kill. We know that it gives... Actually, I didn't catch what it gave, so I'm going to have to watch this one closely. I didn't catch what the reward for defeating this guy was.
So, Joe went and checked the Moor Forest dual chests that have the chicken knife and the brave blade in the vanilla game. Just rapidly tapped left and right, and then just pressed A, and just took whatever he got. And he ended up not getting the X-Gal.
That's too bad. But did he get something decent? Obviously, he didn't reset out. Yeah.
No, not really. It was a lesser sword.
Okay, but he kept it anyway. He didn't want to take the time to reset and look at the other chest, which, you know, that's up to him. Totally valid. I just want to see what this Necro reward is here at the Moogle Waterway real quick to keep track of our rewards. Oh, that was the Walls Tower key. Well, no wonder. I should have figured that out, because I know that's why Joe went to Walls Towers, because he won that fight. So we found out from Walls Tower that there was nothing there. So that's not necessarily a useful check, but IB Karma might go there as well, basically following in Joe's footsteps. Instead, he uses that subkey, and he's doing Barrier Tower. This is another unorthodox check by IB Karma. Fairly high hit points here at Barrier Tower, 20,000. There's no hint necessarily pointing to it, but he failed at completing Moor Forest, which is what Joe is about to try and take on Bahamut. And so we'll see what happens with IB Karma, whether this pays off for him. Taking these dragon fights in the tower, yikes, that one hurt a lot. He might not make it through this fight. But these dragon trap chest fights do give high tier loot, so there's a chance of something quite good in here, potentially.
Alright, and Freddy now working his way through the Moogle Forest, getting his X Magic. And I think was it blue magic was in here as well.
Yeah, right there. Blue ability. Phoenix, which we might be able to use later, and dual wield, which is pretty nice on a physical user as well. Looks like IB Karma died to that red dragon, but he's just gonna try it again. He got unlucky getting hit with an atomic ray that almost wiped his party. He can win that fight if he just gets a little bit of luck. Joe taking on Bahamut, doing sort of the same thing that IB Karma was doing. A little Golem, a little Odin, some Arrow 3 with a Blue Mage. Again, sort of hoping to win this fight, rolling the dice and hoping to not get mega flared. As you can see, Bahamut has a variety of attacks. Something like Flame is a percentage based. It removes 1/4 of your max health. And honestly, I'm not going to try and make any sort of prediction as to whether Joe will win this fight or not. He's going to have low hit points after this Aqua Rake. It actually killed everyone. Bahamut being really rude this scene. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we wiped 2 of our runners now. Freddy, our first one into Excess Castle. He's looking to be the first one into World 3.
Kind of like Freddy doing this. I know that he probably feels behind because he struggled with a couple fights early and went to Kuza later than the others did and got Odin late. Now he knows that the castle is barren, so he could just loot it and fight X-Death. He doesn't necessarily need to do any of the other fights in here. It's up to him whether he wants the levels and experience. Maybe he'll check the fights, and then if they're easy, he'll do them. If they're hard, he'll nope out. I think he just got Time Mage Crystal.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of looting this castle because there's good stuff in here, and Time Mage is one of the good things.
And he also grabbed the Life 2 spell on one of the first chests.
And that's great with our White Mage start. You can bring people back up to full health. Really nice spell to have. And so, yeah, the looting is paying off for Freddy here. I think he might have noped out of the first fight. I didn't even notice what boss it was.
Freddy hasn't touched any of the fights. He's looting and just going to X-Death.
Okay. Pinwheel is a very strong throw item if you have that ability, and if you're strong like a monk or a ninja, you can throw for a lot of damage.
Oh,
it looks like he's
thank you,
probably
Freddy.
just gonna set up for the X-Death fight, yeah?
No. You missed what he's doing.
Is he gonna? Okay.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Right. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Meanwhile, Joe taking on Ifrit at the top of Barrier Tower. Karma is there too, but Joe didn't do any looting. So he beat him to the top, and he can shoot Ifrit to instant kill him. So that is a victory for Joe, and it'll probably be a quick victory for IB Karma in just a minute here too.
Like what Freddy's doing has to be a call out, specifically to me.
Okay, that's why you know what he's doing.
So a little backstory on the tournament. Oh geez, like 2.5 years ago now, 3 years ago now. I did a strat in X-Death Castle of berserking up a hunter and just let it carry me through the X-Death fight.
I see a hunter here.
And ever since then, it was deemed the Windfox Berserker.
Yes, indeed. Berserker is a viable strat. You hear the man on comms tonight who invented it. Maybe someone else would have found it, but he's the first guy who found it. And some hero song to boost the level, and this hunter is just gonna be off. Hopefully he's got a nice powerful bow. Do you know what bow he has?
He's using an Artemis bow.
Okay, so there's no crits on this bow, unfortunately, but you are getting 150% damage from being berserked. And that dispel will not matter because we have the berserk ability on all Zerk all the time. basically, is what's going on with Ferris down there with her bow. And that hero song is going to slowly boost her level for more and more damage. And those white mages, their job is to keep everyone alive. And the hit points are a little low, so that's going to be a little rough. But we do have that Life 2 spell that Freddy found on his way, so he can just sort of keep resurrecting people as they fall. And should be able to keep this up and get through.
I'm surprised he hasn't cast Golem yet. He hasn't prepped the Earth Wall.
Yeah, that would be extremely useful. I'm surprised that IB Karma has not showed Ifrit. Does he not have that summon?
He does.
He forgot. He forgot the weakness. That's the only explanation. You use Shoat here and the fight is over. Instead of doing 20,000 damage, you're just done in one cast. Nice win for Judge Joe. Adam and Timmy, the turtle, is level 20, which is divisible by 5. So that's an instant kill with level 5 Doom. Of course, this is way back at Ship Graveyard. Joe skipped some of the early checks, and he's going over them again now. They're all really low hit points and going to be really easy for him to win. And we all already know that there's nothing really in these early spots. Okay, well, Karma did eventually beat Ifrit. It was sort of the slow way, but and he's about to unfortunately find out that there's no item there. If I look at my hints, we should be able to figure out what would be a good place that the racers should be going next.
Freddy's there because he's going to go to Tool Pass the second he gets into Roll 3.
That's right. You can chase that. Is there anything else in World 1 or 2 that might be important, though?
Looking at the notes, they've done everything, at least from the hints that we have, that would be, I guess, important checks.
Yeah, the thing, though, is Bahamut, right? Bahamut is waiting for us at the forest. Like, that is... We know that's Path to the Void, so we have to eventually defeat Bahamut. But we can do other things first to get stronger and then come back to it later because it's a really tough check.
I can see them waiting a bit, maybe find the Black Mage ability, and then Lit 3 to just pump out the lightning damage. It'll probably deal, you'd say, what, 3,500 damage a cast against Leviathan in that location?
Sure, yeah. And you can even try and find Carbuncle, maybe. And you can put the Reflect up, and if Bahamut decides to Mega Flare you, it will bounce back onto him and really, really hurt him. So there's definitely options. Now IB Karma also going to Exodus Castle, and we'll sort of repeat what Freddy did. We will see if IB Karma takes any fights in here or not. He should know that it's Baron, but he might want to... I mean, there are rewards from defeating bosses that can be helpful. And just the experience, like Freddy's hit points are really low, so it's kind of nice to just gain some more levels. That gives you a little more survivability, you know, so we'll see if Karma takes any of these fights or not.
Yeah, I know. I've been kind of paying attention to Freddy's fight. He's on like the second to last phase. There's multiple phases throughout this fight that transition based on the health left. I actually started casting level 3 Flare. He's probably going to start double casting here really soon.
Yeah, I would hope so. Level 3 Flare is deep into the first phase script, and we want to get into the second phase script because that's, well, for this team, I'm not, well, at least Golem helps, and like sometimes he'll use just physicals that Golem will block for you. It's a simpler phase that usually is easier to deal with. Freddy going with Image instead of Golem. I wonder if he doesn't have Golem.
He doesn't have the Sandworm bait, so he hasn't been able to go over to the desert to do the Golem fight.
Oh, okay. Well, we missed that. The hard part for us is keeping track of what everyone has because no trackers are shown on the screen here. So my apologies if I'm not always up on exactly what key items everyone has. But that explains it. So Freddy's having to take extra time to single cast Image or Blink on people so that they can survive physical hits. And then if they get hit with magic, they end up dying anyway. So it's a slow fight here with these white mages, just trying to keep Ferris um, pumping out that damage. Meanwhile, IB Karma does take a fight in Exdeath Castle on the way up. We know this is not going to have a key item, but it is experience, and Carlibos is a pretty easy boss. I assume, well, actually, the way Karma does it, I'm not sure which location this is at. It's either a 15,000 or a 30,000 hit point location.
I know he did the basement because I saw him running out. This could be the carbuncle spot.
Yeah, or it could be the Gilgamesh 4 spot. I think Karma actually likes to do Gilgamesh 4 first and then Carbuncle, but I'm not positive which direction he went. So Joe is going back to Bahamut. He is staying away from Exdeath Castle, which is where the other two runners have been, so I like this divergence. Oh, you were right. It was the Carbuncle spot, gave a rune axe. Nothing too special, but that's some experience, at least.
And Freddy, one of his white mages, is out of magic. So he's gonna start chucking some Phoenix Downs out there.
I saw some people had an elixir or two. You kind of like to save them for when you really need them at the end, but if you really need it to get through this fight, I would be willing to drink at least one of them. If I had two, I'd be willing to drink one. Meanwhile, Joe going against Bahamut here. I'm just taking a look at what his sort of plan is. Definitely hasting people is good. Early on in the fight, Bahamut is not going to use Mega Flare. The chances are extremely low for that. It's later in the fight when he's got low HP that he has a much higher chance to use it. So you can do a little bit of buffing. Try and get your team into a position where they can put out some fast damage, basically up your DPS. And Freddy gets through. That's a victory. Nice. The Berserker wins again.
Berserker best strat.
Okay, so Freddy has an advantage here. Oh, and the Crayclaw, the other crustacean, was in the other spot here in Exdeath Castle, and it is... IB Karma does remember this time that he can instant kill that with Shoat, so that is big experience. 30,000 hit points gives a bunch of experience for IB Karma. We know it's not a key item, but you get a blue magic spell out of it. That's not bad, and the experience was really nice. Now we know Freddy's going to go probably straight to Tool Pass, because we know that's on the path to the void. Joe trying to slow Bahamut. Bahamut can be slowed, but the problem is he's level 99. And so hitting that slow, I don't remember his magic evade off the top of my head, but hitting that slow is not necessarily going to be easy. The Maelstrom, you don't like to see that. We would hope to have some sort of healing to... Yeah, so we've got single-use high potions. They're not the greatest, but they're something.
Alright, we
can
Karma...
look at... yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Karma pulling into this Exdeath fight. Going with a different strategy. Looks like going with the Knight with Summon, and it looks like the Time Mage.
Yelling up people, hasting people, casting Hero Song, which is actually... That is a duplicate of what Freddy did, which is boosting level for your damage dealers. Okay, it's Stalker at Tool Pass, and Stalker is a terrible boss that no one likes, and you're happy to see him here because here he only has 8,100 hit points. So this will play whack-a-mole or whatever, guess and check with Stalker. Eventually will do enough damage and it will die, and Freddy will...
You
the
don't
blaze
use
counter
summons.
there. Yeah. I should not assume that we're going to win here, but I think Freddy will be able to get this fight one way or another, and then we will we will see what the key item or the tablet is that is behind Tool Pass. We've got 3 boss fights happening all at once here. 2 of them are pretty difficult. The racers are having to take a lot of turns to sort of set up, try and protect themselves, and see if they can get through these high hit point checks. Both checks have similar hit points, and Judge Joe takes out Bahamut, the first racer to get through that required and very difficult check. So that's a nice advantage for him, and that is just the second tablet. So boom, that means we don't necessarily have to go to Fork Tower. We did what probably is the end of the chain and got the second tablet at the forest.
Yeah, that's likely that hinted Path of the Void that we had, but there's always that small chance. It has happened before where that hint isn't for that spot and it's for further in the chain.
Yep, it can happen. If we see some World 3 hints that talk about that particular sequence, that might give it away. At the moment, we don't know. We just think that we got the goal that the hint was telling us about. Joe using that second tablet to go back to Kuza, grab a few things. Nothing super special left here. Black robe is nice for a caster. I didn't actually see the other things that he grabbed. There was probably at least, I think he probably grabbed, I think times 6 was in there. That's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, times 6, and I think a ring, one of the rings was in there.
And I mean, he might just be selling ring because they sell for a lot of money. He's got access to, he could do a little shopping or something if he needs to. We're going to keep an eye on the other racers in their fights here. Freddy, unfortunately, you just have to kind of guess where is the real stalker out of those 4 spots. Every time you do damage, it will move. And Berserker is random targeting, so again, it's Berserker doing some work there, but actually, IB Karma beats Castle X Death first.
So I've been kind of keeping an eye on Freddy. There we go. He's finished. I was saying he's dealt about 6,000 damage to it. He'd probably be in a safe spot to just launch a Phoenix and probably take it out.
Interesting. Phoenix. Do we have summon 5 for Phoenix? I thought we only had summon 4. Ooh, it was the third tablet at Tool Pass.
All right.
All right. Well, that means that it's interesting because Joe is going into Exdeath's Castle late, and yet I consider him to sort of have the advantage because he has that Bahamut kill. The question is how much time he'll spend here in the castle, whether he will do any of the sort of non-required fights. I think he'll probably skip them. And so he will be chasing behind Freddy and Karma, but he will have that extra tablet over them that they still need to get. So I think pretty soon, if things go well for everybody, all of our racers could have 3 tablets and be on the search for the final tablet.
I will point out that Freddy is in Moor Forest right now, so he will be getting that tablet shortly, assuming he can get through the Bahamut. He probably is at this point strong enough to take out the Bahamut. I see him being able to push out enough damage.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. It's a tough fight. He must know that, something that he picked up is going to help him get through the fight there. I'm just looking at some hints. We know the 4th tablet is in World 3. That's the only hint that I think that we really have.
We actually know where it's at.
For the last one.
We actually know. It is on Solitary Island. That is either going to be the tablet or it's going to start a chain reaction of items to get to that tablet.
But you know what? We don't have the shrine page, so we'll have to find that first. Tricky.
So at least we know, at least as viewers and commentators, that shrine page is our go mode. We know that is our go mode is shrine page.
Yes. But we don't know where shrine page is. There's potential it could be in a couple spots in World 1. There's a few spots in World 2 we haven't gone to as well. So yeah, the racers are going to just have to go through those. Remember when we saw Leviathan at Hiryu Valley? We might have to go back there and beat that boss.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Joe trying to do death by math against X-Death here. You cast level 2 old on him, and then you time it, or you just spam level 5 Doom and catch him when he's as his level is counting down. And right there it is. It was a multiple of 5 at that moment, and Joe gets a nice quick kill on X-Death. So nice time save for him there.
So we had all 3 players now taking down X-Death, all with 3 completely different strategies on how they took that fight.
Yeah, that was really interesting. There's a lot of. It turns out, if you want to diversify your team in this rando, there's a lot of options. You can go different ways. We've gone in the blue direction. We've gone in the Berserker direction, and IB Karma. I think Time Mage or sort of stuff was he. What was he? He was doing.
Time Age with the Knight and yeah.
Oh yeah, and Knight as well. I like that actually, and he had less trouble than Freddy, who had the most trouble. So it's working well for him. We know Joe's about to fight Stalker, about to get the 3rd tablet. Focusing here mostly on Freddy, but also IB Karma doing the Odin check in World 3, which is fairly quick, fairly easy check, and no gimme, but only 17,000 hit points.
We know it's nothing because castles are barren.
You know what though? There is a quirk of the hints. Pretty sure because you have to go through that cave to get to the World 3 Odin spot, it's tagged as a cave.
Is it a cave? Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those really tricky hints, which we weren't sure what to do with it. I think the reason it's a cave is because there's fewer caves than there are castle locations, and we want to sort of even them out. And so we made this one a cave. So the fight itself is in a castle, but access to the fight is through a cave. And so it's categorized as a cave. So this might actually be... There's a chance that this is required. Fighting Catastrophe here. If he quakes us, we're probably dead. But I'm not sure if he would use Quake quite this early. In this quite an early location. It's possible though, he might.
So I know Karma has float because I've seen him open up his time menu, and he has float, so he could kind of manipulate his
to float somebody. Yeah, just to be sure.
Just kind of manipulate the script.
Yeah. I mean, you could get lucky here. He probably doesn't use the Quake. It's either a low chance per turn or it's a low health part of his script. Or maybe he doesn't use it at all here for all I know. I don't know this location 100%, but Karma rolling the dice a little bit here and gets the victory. First person to defeat their boss. Well done by Karma. And this gets level 5 Doom and Mirage Radar out of it, which is a pretty nice reward, even if it's not Path to the Void.
Mind if I cut in and talk about the charity real quick?
Go right ahead.
Please do.
So, those of you staying up late with us tonight, thank you for watching us on the FFR Summer Rando Marathon. We are working in service of the Liam Foundation, which was originally started back in 2015. Their mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Most of their recent efforts are centered on their expansion that happened back in June of 2023. They are holding many new events to service the community, including open mic nights, name change clinics, adult peer support groups, and even some D&D tables. All proceeds go to the charity. Go ahead and if you like what you see, please donate to a worthy cause. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Fizzle. Yeah, quick catch up with Karma in Mirage Village. Found the chemist job. Probably the best job in the entire game. Actually, not
Potentially,
probably.
yeah.
Not probably. It is the best job in the game.
Depending on what your preference is, it's definitely very good. There's all kinds of good stuff here in Mirage, and he's buying it up. So he's gonna reconfigure his party to sort of train his chemist, and also, oh, we got deserts are not of value. I guess I'll write that down. Deserts barren. We won't go to pyramid. But you buy a bunch of stuff here. This is the shopping spree portion of the seed, and Karma going and getting that Mirage Radar could be a sort of long-term advantage to him because he's gonna have the chance to buy all kinds of great stuff here, and diversify his team and get powerful things. Whether or not it will be the key to victory, well, it depends. He still needs to figure out a way to defeat Bahamut, which Joe did, and I think Freddy did. Did you happen to see
Yes.
whether he won that fight? Okay, yeah. So Karma is actually behind on that particular thing, but otherwise, he's doing quite well, being able to shop here. Meanwhile, Joe going to Fork Tower, which is a unorthodox play. I probably wouldn't do this at this time because I would feel like we already sort of ended that hint chain. But there is a small chance, as you mentioned before, Windfox, that the hint was not about what was at the forest, but what was past the forest, which is here at Fork Tower. So Joe is checking it. So kudos to him. Nice to see that divergence because I don't expect the others to go there real soon.
Yeah, like I don't know if Joe would feel like he's behind. He'd probably feel like he's on par with everybody. Especially with his incredible X Death kill. This is I would feel a Hail Mary kind of play.
All of the racers have had to reset out of rude fights. At least one, if not more than one. So it's possible that Joe feels behind. Also, at this point, we don't have a whole lot to go on as to where that last tablet is, and so he might just be doing something. Summon 5 is nice to get. He might just be doing something aggressive and unorthodox, which is kind of Joe's style anyway. So I don't think it's all that out of character, but it probably wouldn't be the play that I did quite yet.
Yeah, I would definitely be going to Ball Castle first, in the Odin spot. Yeah, this is probably one of the last places I'd go, honestly.
Well, it'll be exciting for us to see because Fork Tower, as much as the runners often hate it, I think that the viewers love to see it. This is a two characters on each side who have to try and defeat these bosses here. So let's see what we got. Oh no, it's Omniscient up at the top of Fork Tower on the right-hand side, 20,000 hit points. You can use Wind on him, Arrow 3. Wind is his weakness. Let's see, 2,000, so you got to be able to cast that at least 10 times. And he has, of course, very strong spells when he gets toward low health, so you have to figure out a way that you're going to survive that. Joe doesn't have any haste. He doesn't have any reflect. This could be rough. IB Karma is North Mountain World 3 fighting against Twintanya. Really nice boss to see here because this is 40,000 hit points, but you can insta-kill it if you just wait for it to take 5 turns and switch forms. So IB Karma are going to be getting a bunch of experience and ability points and stuff if he can just survive and instant kill this boss. Meanwhile, Freddy seems to be going to the same place, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad play.
But Freddy did not get the Mirage Radar, right?
Yeah, I would say his
so
is in World 1.
He can only do the World 1 check. Yeah, so this is just a quick check for Freddy. This is not like a double check or anything. This is just a quick thing that he didn't do earlier that he's cleaning up right now. So Karma beats Twintanya. Let's see if he gets anything useful here as a reward. It's Big Guard, that's really nice, and a Dragoon Spear, which is not so nice. But I gotta say, Big Guard makes a lot of your fights easier, so I would be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and it's not progression, but you definitely feel good getting a spell like that, especially when you're going through the void at the end of the game.
It's the best defensive spell in the game. It gives you armor, shell, and float on the entire party all at once. So basically, all incoming damage is halved. And speaking of incoming damage, that's Omniscient showing you how strong he is when he is at low HP and he kills Joe's party. And will Joe go back into Fork Tower to try and get revenge, or what will he do? It looks like he's going back in. He's probably going to go in with like 2 blue mages so he can really spam the arrow 3 and hope to get a win with 1 person alive.
Yeah, I think the arrow was dealing 2100 damage, so you only need 10 casts of that. And if 2 people are doing it, that's 5 rounds, so...
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, although not having any haste can be a problem because you really want to be pumping out the damage quickly so Omni doesn't get too many turns. Meanwhile, IB Karma is down at the bottom of Sunken Walls Tower with Sandworm. This is almost 48,000 hit points down here. If you don't have Aqua Rake or Leviathan, I feel like you just reset this fight. But you could stick it out. It's not necessarily that hard. It might just take a long time to win this fight. And this is an unhinted location. There's no guarantee at all that this is going to be a key item or anything, but maybe your opponents didn't go here. It's kind of like Joe and Karma are both just sort of trying to randomly find something that will help them find that last tablet before the other one.
I mean, that doesn't even include, that timer in Karma's corner. Once that hits 0, he game overs.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that. You do need to have pretty good damage output so that you can actually kill the sandworm in time. It's nice to see like this variety and divergence and such, but it's all of the racers at this point are kind of just feeling around blindly for something that will lead them to the last tablet. And so, in a way, it's anyone's game. I think Ivy Karma, right, has still not defeated Bahamut, so he does have that he needs to take care of at some point. But other than that, anybody could take the lead if they just happen upon the right chain or literally just the 4th tablet.
I think what would be kind of the worst scenario for all 3 runners is, we know the Solitary Shrine is our path to the void, but there could be a chain before that leads up to that.
Absolutely, yeah. What often happens is if you get a lot of tablets early that are part of short chains, then the last one tends to be a really long chain. Now, I wouldn't call the chains that we got so far necessarily all that short, but there's plenty of room in the seed for one last long chain of weirdness. So, I mean, just checking the hints like what Karma did at Mirage helps him. He knows that he can avoid desert locations like the pyramid, whereas somebody who doesn't know about that might spend a lot of time going through the pyramid. It's kind of slow. But yeah, we'll see. We just gotta see. These racers basically have to win their fights, see what the seed gives them, and then hopefully eventually sort of feel around and find the path to the last tablet so they can go into the void. Omni, I Okay, using slow, so it can't be at that low hit points, but Joe is not looking that great in terms of health, and when you have a slow character on your team, that really is hurting your damage output as well. So things are not looking that good for Joe right now. Oh my gosh, Omni just hasted himself. Things really not looking good for Joe. I am kind of thinking this isn't going to work out here.
He's just completely buffing himself with everything.
Yeah, and that can happen. I mean, Omni's got a lot of spells that he knows. He's literally called omniscient because he's a know-it-all. And now he's mad. And there goes Joe. That's two deaths at Fork Tower to omniscient. Will he go back for a third time? You could go 3-1 here. You could go 3 people and hope that the left side is really easy. No, he's noping out. Probably a smart move.
You know, as Joe's noping out of Fort Tower, Freddy. For Freddy, this feels like a Hail Mary play.
Yeah, I think the racers, as they struggle, are all feeling like they're behind. But really, they're all fairly close to each other. So now Freddy's going to Fork Tower where you also wouldn't expect. Joe's going back to Hear You Valley, which I like this play because he was here before. He didn't clear this. No one else has even been here. He knows what's here. It's Leviathan, and he should have the power now to win this fight without too much trouble.
Yeah, and with Leviathan's strongest spell being the Aqua Rake at 400 to 500 damage, actually it's probably gonna be lower with higher level resists now and gear. It should be definitely a manageable fight.
Yeah, if he's got good gear, it shouldn't be too bad. Leviathan does potentially counter, counter magic. So maybe he can use his physicals a little better. His knight there instead of he's probably going to use both his knight and his blue mage, but I would sort of try and lean on the knight a little bit until Leviathan's close to dead. Meanwhile, Ivy Karma's got 2 minutes left to kill the sandworm. He's using lots of comets. Comet is gonna average around maybe 800 to 1,000 damage. That is a heck of a lot of comets. And I just hope that he can finish before that timer runs out. Freddy noped out of Omniscient at Fork Tower, which was, in my opinion, a very smart play because he did not waste any time losing like Joe did twice to Omni, and now he's going to go down to where Karma is. Oh my gosh.
Just
Who has Aqua Rake to take on this worm? I hope somebody has it.
Knowing Joe, he probably does. Like, he seems like he always has blue magic readily available.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that if I see it in a seed for sale at a shop, I will buy it. You also, maybe Joe would have learned... No, he wouldn't have saved after learning it, though. I mean, you could learn it from Leviathan, but you need to win that fight to have the spell. You can go to the spot in World 1 where people learn Aqua Rake in vanilla if you need it. But of course that slows you down a little bit having to go do that. But that Aqua Rake does 8x damage to desert type enemies. That's why it's so good against Sandworm. And Leviathan is also the elemental weakness of water, which works really well against Sandworm too. Oh, and there's Leviathan victory for Joe. Let me see if this is an important check. Grey Valley. If it's fire, well, you might as well just quickly chase that.
Yeah, I mean, you committed the time to the check, so...
We had a hint that the library was Path of the Void. Now, at the Ifrit spot, we got something good. Darn it, I didn't write it down. And it kind of felt like that was all we needed. Oh, was it? I don't think so. I had Steamship Key at the Catapult.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Steamship Key was at Catapult. Yeah, because we got the Library Path of the Void at Kelb.
Yeah, and it felt like the first thing in the library was... Oh, I think it was like...
It was like Bracelet or Anti-Barrier.
I think it was written down in other spots too, but I might be wrong about that. It was an important thing that we needed, and so it felt like, okay, we're probably done with the library. But again, the way these hints work, it's possible sometimes that libraries has double value, so you might as well check it just to be sure. because library was hinted, it doesn't tell you front of library or back of library. It just says library. And so there's ambiguity, which is a really cool aspect of this randomizers. You often don't know for sure whether something that you just did is actually correct. You think it's probably correct, but sometimes the seed will fool you.
Yeah, we've all definitely had our races we've lost because we think, oh yeah, this is the end of the chain because I got a tablet, and there's another boss behind it, and you just leave, and you were right but also wrong.
By the way, I think IB Karma did not save after beating Twintanya, so he didn't defeat. Adamantite at the library. You could continue chasing that. I think what happened with IB Karma is he did not defeat Sandworm, and then when he died, he reloaded at North Mountain, so he just had to fight Twintanya a second time there. Not a
Yeah.
huge deal, but a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, Freddy saw the sandworm and just instantly reset out, knowing he could not beat it.
Okay, so the front of the library, Windfox, you were right, had the bracelet. The back of the library had adamantite, and that's what Joe is chasing right now. I wrote it down wrong in my notes, so that was my bad.
This may sound weird, but I actually probably wouldn't chase this chain, knowing that Solitary Island is Path to the Void. I would be doing other checks, because with how much you've done, the odds of something being behind this is incredibly slim.
Are you talking about the two flying Lanka checks here in World 1 that Joe's doing?
Yes.
Or are you talking about somebody else's? Okay.
Joe, because the only thing we know that's here is the big bridge. Big bridge key is here.
That's right. But you could have Big Bridge, could have the shrine page, or even the second check up here could have the shrine page as well. I don't think we have any hints that sort of make any particular spot any more likely than any other. So it's not. I'm not saying it's a great decision, but I can't really fault it either. It's just you're following a chain that you really don't know if it's going to pay off. Oh, it didn't pay off in the front, so we know it's going to be Big Bridge key in the back, and I guess Joe is committed to chasing that as well.
Yeah, because this big bridge key could just lead to the trench, to waterfall, to give us a heavy spear.
Yeah. IB Karma just cleared the Walls Tower. My notes say that there was no key item there, so that was just unfortunate checking, which pretty much almost everyone has had to do. I'm not sure if everyone has been to Walls Tower now, but at least 2 people, if not all of our racers, have been there. Now, IB Karma's going back to finish the forest, beat Bahamut, and get the tablet that we know is there. So definitely a good play by him. This has to be done.
Yeah, he's going to catch up here a little bit, get his 3rd tablet, but he's down a few bosses that Freddy and Joe have already done.
Speaking of a done boss, Odin gets one shot by Shote. Judge Joe has now cleared the Flying Lanka, and I gotta say he did it pretty quick. So there you go, Big Bridge Key. He's gonna probably chase that, as we were talking about before. And we will see if that leads him to the shrine page. If it does, he'll have a huge advantage because no one else has really chased that chain at all. If it doesn't, well, then it ends up being sort of a it would end up being a wasted dead end chain. So I think this is pretty important. IB Karma going with that love song against Bahamut, which we talked about before. Really nice way to give Bahamut less turns, so you're more likely to you get a lot more damage output than he does.
Joe getting a free boss there with the abductor.
What's the reward? Oh, it's nothing. You were right, Windfox. It did not pan out. Joe probably feels bad about that dead end chain that he chased. Where will he go back to next? Is this a fork seed? Are we gonna have to actually go there, or can we go? Where else can we
We
go?
are-
We don't have any tablet pages, right? We're looking for all
we
of
don't
them.
we don't have any of them, and we know the pyramid page has nothing because we know desert is barren.
Gosh, I'm trying to look at what we've got. So basically, underwater walls tower, which is sandworm. If you have aqua rake, Joe hasn't even been there yet, so he's now checking that out. That could be important. And then fork tower is another possibility. That's a place that we can actually go that could be important. Other than that, we can't really get into anywhere else. I think we've done every other check.
And I'm pretty sure Joe
Then,
does have aqua rake because he did finish off that Leviathan fight
yes,
after
he will definitely have it.
after
Yeah.
being hit by it.
Yeah. Yeah, Leviathan was going crazy with Aqua Rake at that spot, so I'm sure that he has it. And he's got a bunch of blue mages that can cast it, so Sandworm is actually going to go down pretty quick for Joe. We saw IB Karma have to nope out of that fight, so now he's back at fighting Bahamut at Moor Forest. And Freddy going back to his fight that he noped out of much earlier, Necrophobe, at the Moogle Waterway. Alright, so take a look at these damage numbers from Joe. 5,800 or so from Aqua Rake, pretty nice.
Yeah, this worm's gonna be dead in like 3 or 4 rounds. It's gonna be a super fast fight.
There's a lot of hit points here, almost 48,000, so you don't want to miss too often. Unfortunately, Sandworm moved, and Joe missed with his second Aqua Rake cast, so you do have to be careful about how you go about it. But yeah, Aqua Rake also kind of expensive on the MP. As long as Joe refilled his MP before this fight though, he should be just fine.
So I remember a while ago there was a glitch or a bug with Sandworm that if he rolled into World 3, his haste or his natural speed would be so high that you could soft lock the fight by him queuing up a bunch of movement things at the same time as you queuing a bunch of spells. Has that been fixed yet?
I don't think anyone knows how to fix Sandworm. I remember you, Windfox, in a race managed to glitch Sandworm, and I don't know the details of what happened with it, but all I know is that it's probably the buggiest fight in the game, and that's just comes from vanilla. It's not necessarily, well, it's possible that the randomizer affected things, but even in vanilla, this is a buggy enemy
a mess.
anyways. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't heard anything about it being fixed, but it's possible that Clear Tonic might have turned down the speed gain or something to help it glitch less often. I don't really know for sure. Freddy wins his fight at the Moogle Waterway, gets the Walls Tower key, is probably going to chase it and find another dead end because we have seen our other racers already do that. So we're focused here on Joe and Karma at the moment. Joe is going to show us something new. IB Karma, if he gets the win here against Bahamut, he will get a tablet. I gotta say, Fitz mentioning it in the chat a while ago that this is a heck of a seed. Oh, there's Here You Call, another thing for us to chase. Might as well. Follow that to World 2, check the fleet. But yeah, Fitz was saying in the chat, this is a heck of a seed. And, you know, we had these amazing hints early on, but we've sort of exhausted all of them. We checked all of the easy stuff that the hints gave us, and there's something that has been hidden from us. None of the hints that we have found so far have helped us at all in terms of finding the path to the last tablet. So that is basically the name of the game right now, is who can find either the last tablet or the path to it first.
Yeah, and our last 3 hints, they're locked behind the trench page in World 3, so If I was any of these runners, if I got that trench page, I would probably rush down to those hints to maybe get a glimmer of hope to give me direction on what to do.
Yeah, I would love to see the hints. In Mirage, I saw that deserts were barren. I'm pretty sure the other hint was not useful. Like, I don't remember what it was.
It
I
was. It
didn't write
was
it down, but it was.
I saw something about an item we'd already acquired at some point.
Yeah. So the only hints that are left in the seed that we haven't seen are at Trench. Now, we don't have access because we need the Trench page. Even though we have the sub key, we can't get into the Trench. But if I got that Trench page, I would immediately go there in hopes of one of those 3 remaining hints being helpful in some way. There's no guarantee that that is how things will happen for anybody, but that's what we're sort of. If you're a racer, that's sort of what you're hoping for, is to get the trench page and a useful hint at this point. And there's even some shopping down there too, so that can be helpful.
All right, we see Freddy coming back up to this sandworm fight. Pretty sure he's prepped with his blue magic for this one this time with the aqua rake.
Berserker not gonna be good against the sandworm. In fact, this fight is programmed really weird, and there's actually something like 6 or 7 targets, even though you see a sandworm and you see 3 holes. The way that Berserker targeting works is your chance to hit the sandworm is only like 1 in 6 or maybe 1 in 7. So I would actually kill off the Berserker. And I might even reset out because I'm not seeing Freddy having Aqua Rake or a really good setup to win this fight. He needs to look at that timer and sort of assess whether he can win this fight before the timer runs out or not.
Yeah, he has one.
Oh, he does.
One party member with aqua rake.
All right. Well, I hope he's got elixirs. Aqua Rake is kind of expensive. And he's gonna, if he's only got one person who can cast it, he's gonna have to rely really heavily on that person. And like I said, use those other people to kill off your Zerker. It just got quartered, so now the HP is nice and low. Just let it die. Sorry, Windfox, but Berserker is just not the play in this fight.
Oh, for this fight, I will. If I run in this fight with Berserker, I will either A, kill it off instantly, or reset and then realign my party.
Well, my bad, because actually I see at least 2 people on Freddy's team have Aqua Rake. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Karma taking Stalkers again. Did that wipe he took on Sandworm reset him back more than we thought?
Gosh, I lost track. I lost track of what happened with IB Karma. I also
definitely know he killed Stalker.
Okay. Awful news for Joe, although he doesn't know that it's awful news because he hasn't been to Mirage. He gets Pyramid Page from the Hear You Call, but we know from Karma's Mirage hint that deserts are barren. Joe's probably going to go to the desert. Yeah, he's going to the pyramid, and this is not going to have anything except loot. He's not going to loot the pyramid because he wants to go fast. So the only real hope that he has is maybe something, you know, like a powerful weapon or a powerful spell or something at the top of a pyramid. But this is actually kind of a big time sink for Joe. I have to say I don't really know what the situation is for Karma, though. I lost track of what he's up to, and if he died and had to reset or something. Not sure, but hey, Freddy beats the Sandworm. It's that Hear You Call, and it's gonna go along the same dead path that Joe is doing. So if Karma can win here at Fork Tower, maybe that would give him the advantage.
Yeah, I think this is all we have left is Fork Tower. Like,
I kind of think so too. I can't think of any other checks that we haven't seen now that are available, which means that, yeah, what you were talking about before, both the Moor Forest and Fork Tower, which is unlocked by Moor Forest, seem to be Path of the Void. And we got a hint talking about, where is it? Where's the hint? Library Path of the Void. Nope. Waltz Meteor Path to the Void. That gave us the branch. We
Yep.
got the tablet there, but maybe that hint was talking about what comes after the forest, which is Fork Tower. Amazing. Really rude seed. Really rude. Who can win against Omni at Fork Tower? All you really need, we have the power. Okay, we've got Arrow 3, but you just need to be able to survive against Omni. You need to be either fast or you need to be able to bounce his spells back on him when he gets at low HP.
However, Karma doesn't know that this is Omni on this first
Right.
fight. The other two racers do know this. So you see Judge, Joe, and Freddy prepping their party for at least this first fight. This second
Look what
fight's a
Karma
question mark.
has. Karma has something that the others do not have, which is Mute Spellblade. That is the Omni killer. You can silence him periodically, and he will not be able to do anything at all. But this is absolutely a win for Karma. He just has to slowly get the... I don't know about his damage output until I see... Okay, so he'll be casting Odins. It's going to take 10 Odins or so, but then he will win.
I
Good
can't
for
believe
him.
I'm going to say this, but I think Karma's in the lead after being behind for
Yes.
the first hour and 15 minutes of this race.
Yeah, he's in the lead, but both of the other racers are going to Fork, and they know what's waiting for them there. Karma is the one who has Mystic Knight, which is nice. Joe's doing solo versus Omni because he found a Reflect Ring. You basically can't lose this fight. He's going to spam Arrow 3, and all but one of Omni's spells are going to bounce off of Joe. The only one that can hurt him is the Drain spell, and it's not even that strong. So
yeah, it only hits for.
who's going to get the win here too? And we're going to be like neck and neck, and maybe neck and neck and neck in a three-way close race if Freddy can pull this off as well.
Yeah, after an hour and 45 minutes of complete divergence from the second one of this race, they have all converged into this one spot.
Yep, it was the only spot available. Now there are some racers that could sort of chase the wrong thing, like getting the Hear You Call and going to the pyramid was something that Joe could have done, but he actually made the right call. So yeah, I think that as long as this produces something else, Joe is gonna follow it. So good job by Joe thinking. He actually went to the gate of the pyramid, saw Minnow was there, and then reset out. So for whatever reason, he decided, no, not gonna go to the pyramid after all. And IB Karma, what happened?
So that slow kind of took effect, and he missed a Mute Blade cycle, and Omni got a Bolt 2 off.
Wow, that is very surprising. All's Page Magic Lamp, well, I don't know if that's necessary. That might be what we want, but we're hoping for a Shrine Page on the other side. Otherwise, it's just sort of lengthens the chain, perhaps. And there's a chance that we could get a second key item over here. Use Odin on these piggies and slice the bacon, please. Can be a nice quick win as long as Odin works.
Alright, I think while our racers finish up Fork Tower here, we haven't heard from Fizzle in about 45 minutes. Fizzle, have any donations, shoutouts you wanna do?
No new donations recently, but I might as well shout out the charity again while we're here. Those of you who are watching today, you're watching the FFR Summer Rando Marathon in support of the Liam Foundation. Originally started back in 2015, their mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Their recent efforts center around their June 2023 move to a new space where they are offering open mic events, name change clinics, adult peer support groups, and more. If you like what you see and you want to support a great charity, go ahead and give a donation. We also have some incentives for upcoming runs that have not yet been fulfilled. Um, Coming up tomorrow at noon, we have the Castlevania Symphony of the Night run. There's still a couple incentives open for this one. Actually, there's just one incentive left open for this one. The All Bosses slash Relics incentive is at 60 of $80, so only 20 more dollars, and that one is good to go. And then later on in the day, we have the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess randomizer that has a file name bid war as well as a link colors bid war. So if you want to affect any of those, go ahead and give a donation now. All proceeds go to a very worthy cause. Thank you.
As always, Fizzle,
Thank
thank
you.
you for all that. Quick catch up. Freddy ended up wiping on the triplets. RNG did not like him. He ended up not getting the Odin Omni slash off.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Meanwhile, Judge Joe, as we sort of predicted, we got two key items. We got the Falls page and the Trench page. We predicted that if you get Trench page, you go there and you check 3 hints, and we're about to see what those 3 hints are. So that might contain a hint as to where to go next, or maybe it'll just be, Shrine pages here.
As we see,
Moogle
Karma.
Suit. We
Karma.
don't care about that hint.
Yep.
Pyramid page, we don't care. Ancient Library, Path to the Void, we already got one of those. What was the second library thing? Adamantite. Wait, wasn't it? Yeah. But the Adamantite had Big Bridge Key, which had nothing.
Which
I'm
means
confused. I mean, we already knew about the library from Kelger.
yeah.
How could the other library spot be also Path to the Void when it didn't lead to anything?
What do we get from that first library spot?
I have written down that it was the bracelet. And the second library spot was the adamantite. We know that castles are barren, so nothing in Exdeath Castle that... The bracelet is just to get to Castle Exdeath. And for adamantite, Joe checked Flying Lonka, got nothing, and the big bridge key, and then the big bridge led to nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, it was like
so
a
I'm
rod or
definitely
something.
confused by that hint. I mean, it's possible I wrote something down wrong, but you and I both...
We both have the same notes, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same notes here. So apparently the hints here down in the trench were not helpful. Joe's noping out. He's probably going to refight Melusine. He's just going to reset his party configuration for an easier win. Meanwhile, IB Karma and Freddy both taking on Omni at the same time. IB Karma, we know, has Mute Spellblade and should get through this time. It was quite surprising that he didn't last time, whereas Freddy is getting zapped hard by Omni, and that could be a problem if he can't finish. He does have Lena hasted, which should get him an extra turn here, and that's going to help a lot. If this is a flare, a death flare by Omni right here, he wins. So he does get through the fight, and he gets another chance to take on the triplets.
So one small little thing I would like to point out. So Freddy's White Mage with Lena was silenced, but was still able to cast blue magic spells.
Yeah, because blue is cool like that. It doesn't care about being silenced. You can cast blue mage. Blue magic specifically can be done even if you're silenced, which is just another great thing about blue magic.
And Judge
Apparently,
Joe...
blue magic is like monster magic, and not all the monsters can speak. So that's at least my headcanon, if not some decent logic about why blue magic ignores silence.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, one of the blue magics is Goblin Punch, and you know, as far as I can tell, a goblin's just screaming at you as they're punching you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a magical thing. Freddy against triplets here. I want him. I want this Odin to work this time. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. He got it. He got it. He's done with the. He's done with the fork tower. He's gonna get trench page, and I assume he will chase it and be sort of on Joe's tail here. Joe is going with some nice X fights and such against Marigine. X fight Fire 3 Spellblade. Oh, or maybe just the spell Fire 3. Starts out weak to fire always, and there she goes down.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to transition to a different element and just race through it.
Oh, there's the shrine page. Finally, we are on the path that we know we need.
And we know
Joe should go there next.
Judge Joe is assuming he has his notes written down properly, he knows he's in go mode.
Yep, we go to the shrine, we get whatever is there. It's either a tablet or a key item that opens up the path to the last tablet, and then it's time to go to the void. So yeah, this is go mode, and everybody else is going to be behind him, not that far, I would say. I can't imagine anybody else going anywhere but to the trench as soon as they leave Fork Tower. And Freddy's down at the gate of the trench already, and IB Karma, as long as he can... He's... For some reason, he's using Lamp Odin instead of casting regular, probably because his maybe he doesn't have anybody with summoning on this side of the tower, and that's a wipe. He's going to have to redo Omni for a third time. Very unfortunate. I wasn't watching him closely. He might have had bad luck like Freddy did and killed one of the triplets by accident and then got hit with the Delta attack, which is what turned one of his characters to stone. So if
Yeah,
then it wasn't his fault. It was just bad luck.
Yeah, I think he did have a summoner. I just think he kept getting the Gungnir cast, and it kept hitting the same target, which caused the revival and Delta attack to go off.
It's pretty unlikely for Odin to do Gungnir instead of True Edge at this point in the seed, because the higher your level, the more likely you are to do True Edge. Also, the relative level between you and the enemy matters as well, and the triplets are not like super high level. They're from, I think they're between like level 20 and 40. So both of those racers, Freddy and IB Karma, getting unlucky with Odin True Edge rolls is just unfortunate. They didn't do anything wrong, really.
And unfortunately, Karma is bailing on the Fork Tower back to the Sandworm.
Yeah. Did he come back with some Aqua Rake, or does he might not have it? He might go for a different method. No, he does have at least one person. That's good. Yeah, really rough for Karma. If I were in his position, I would be pretty tilted right now, and it makes it hard to even finish a seed when you get this frustrated. So I don't know what's going through his head right now, but I would be a bit upset, to say the least.
Yeah, you were beating your face against Sandworm earlier. You know, you let the whole 7-minute timer go out. You go to Fork Tower, and you just beating your face against Omni for 2 or 3 attempts, and then you run into triplets for 2 or 3 times, and just a series of just unfortunate luck is what it was.
Yeah, he got unlucky against Omni. He got unlucky against triplets. Both sides of Fort Tower, not the place you want to get unlucky. And I mean, there were struggles earlier in the seed too. He was here before fighting Sandworm down at the bottom of Walls Tower. He spent a lot of time doing that fight and didn't make it. So yeah, really rough for him. Especially, it's going to be extra rough when he realizes, oh, I have to go to Fork Tower. This was not it. It was more time wasted.
Yeah, because he's going to get the item that's here at the Sandworm and chase that chain just to get nothing.
Yeah, down at the bottom of Wall's Tower is the Hear You Call, and if you go to the fleet, you will get the pyramid page. So it's possible if he didn't. Okay, there's fourth tablet for Joe. So that is. We already knew it was go mode, but now he can go into the void. But it's possible if Karma missed a hint that he might even go to the pyramid. Hopefully not.
So he was the first one to Mirage, so he knows the pyramid has nothing.
That's right. He got that hint before anyone else did. So he shouldn't go there, but he might go to the fleet. There's no hint saying to stay away from that. Freddy about to take on Marigine and get the Rhine page. So he will be following in Joe's footsteps, but Joe's got a pretty good lead here now, and Joe with a lead is not likely, I wouldn't think, at this point in the void to give up that lead, but who knows? This has been a wild and crazy seed.
Yeah, obviously this is, the FF1 randomizer marathon. Chaos, or this dungeon, the Void, is similar to Topher in FF1. This is the great equalizer. There could be something nasty in here, and everyone could just catch up because they just hit a brick wall.
Trying to think of what bosses might be around here that would give our racers trouble. Possibly something like Shote, but if we have some softs, we can probably get through that. We have seen some of the rude ones already, like Stalker and Leviathan and Bahamut. It's nice that they're not in the pool. We've actually seen Minnow, so we know he's not here. We know Omni's not in here. We've seen Sandworm already, so maybe the Void will be a little more friendly. Something like Greg 4 can hurt. I don't think we've seen him yet. He's very fast.
We've seen Greg 4. Karma pulled it. It was in a weird spot, and no one else checked it, but he checked Greg 4.
Oh, okay. I feel like at least one or two of the Gregs haven't been seen. We did Greg 1. Not sure if we did Greg 2 or 3 then.
We haven't seen Greg 2. That's the Greg in the Void that could cause problems.
Yeah, but I think we should be able to take him. I don't think he's quite as bad as something like Greg 4. Titan, I think, is doing his Deathquake right now, and we'll just survive that because it's not very strong. So Joe is past the first Void check, and there's a save point coming up. So, yeah, this is basically just a boss gauntlet to get to the end. And I don't expect him to have too much trouble. There's probably some boss that I'm overlooking that might be a little bit of a problem. Have we seen a panda in the seed?
I know we've seen Biblos.
Yeah, I remember Biblos, but I don't remember a panda. That can be a tough one.
I know they have Fire 3 with Black Magic, so it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, if you've got that, you're in good shape. Chimera Brain is actually one of the easiest bosses in the whole game. We're not going to have any problem there. That's nice to see.
Vulnerable to all instant death.
Yeah, do you know if Judge Joe found Big Guard? Yeah, he did, right? Like, he went to North Mountain and did that. So if you put Big Guard up, Panda can't really hurt you that much. So, it's such a good defensive spell that I can't really think of any boss that could really give him too hard of a time at this point.
I know we saw Califisteri, but we haven't seen Halicarnassus.
Yep, and that is a boss that you don't want to use summons against, so you have to go for other damage methods, or else it'll counter you and one-shot one of your characters. But also shouldn't be too bad to get through, I don't think.
So one of the things I noticed that none of our runners did, they all have the Chemist, or at least Karma has the Chemist skill, but no one has Mix.
Yeah, when they were oh, here's a panda. So we did call him. It's we'll take a look at what Joe does against him. X Magic Fire 3 is pretty darn good. When we were looting the trench, I thought maybe I saw somebody find Mix, but I wasn't sure.
It was the Mimic job crystal.
Oh, maybe that was what I saw. Okay. It would be really good for Karma to have one of his characters be a chemist so that he can learn mix. Like he probably can just learn it in one fight.
Oh yeah,
And the
easily.
other people are at a little bit. What you're alluding to is that the other people might be at a little bit of a disadvantage if they don't have something like Break Spellblade. Chemist makes the final fight a lot easier because you can boost a bunch of levels and just really sort of destroy Tree X Death and Neo X Death. So the end could get a little bit hairy without leaning on Chemist, but I think that all of our racers are capable of winning the final fight without using mix. But you're right; it is available at least to IB Karma, and Karma has gone to the pyramid, which should know not to go here. I kind of hope that he's not gonna go deep inside. Maybe he just, I don't know, wants to see what the boss is. Maybe he needs to double check his notes. Breaking some rods against Minnow because you can't use any magic against him. Even blue magic is not allowed. And we did talk about Shote. 50,000 hit point Shote is not great. If you have an Aegis shield, if you can wear a ribbon, you can be immune to his petrification. Otherwise, you need to have a good stack of softs, or you can use the stop song and immediately attack after stopping him. That's another way you can avoid his counter. 50,000 hit point Shote is not easy. We could run out of softs, or something like that could happen in this fight.
I know he has at least one ribbon that we found earlier in the seed. I don't know if he has any Aegis shields though.
Yeah, I haven't seen an Aegis shield. It's possible I missed it when they picked it up. The ribbon, I didn't see anyone sell the ribbon that we found early, but it's possible that they did. Question is, do we have any jobs that can actually wear the ribbon? Because Mimic cannot wear it. So you need Freelancer or Dancer. Those are your only options for wearing the ribbon. You can Big Guard, and you can reduce the chance for Demon Eye to actually hit because it increases your magic evade from having Shell. But it looks like Joe is trying to set something up, but it is slow. Whatever he's trying to do is slow, and it's not...
Well, so he got the hero song going with haste, so he's getting the accelerated levels with hero song.
Extra damage is always good. Certainly, being high level helps dodge Shote a little bit. You're going to get 2 counters from using X-Fight, but that is really nice damage output. Oh, that's an Aegis Shield block.
Yes, it is.
All he has to really do is use that Knight with X-Fight for damage output then, because Shote always goes after the person that attacked it. So I think this should be just totally fine for Joe to win the fight this way. 10,000, almost 10,000 damage per turn, so like 6 X fights, and that should be a win. Just keep everybody else alive in the meantime.
Yeah, I know he skipped the optional save point boss where Apocalypse is normally at. So he's gonna have to backtrack pretty much to near the beginning of the dungeon to save before taking on Ted and Ned.
Yeah, that would be the safe play. Sometimes Joe doesn't make safe plays, and he just pushes right to the end. I mean, he also has the option to take the final fight after he wins this fight. It's just a question of, is he prepared to actually do that and win on the first try for sure? Because if he doesn't, that'll give Freddy a potential chance to catch up, because Freddy just cleared Shrine and is about to get the 4th tablet. Joe is most of the void ahead, so even if he were to wipe, he might still have the lead.
I mean, the Void, minus the Shote, the Void was pretty much free.
IB Karma found some running shoes in the pyramid. We know that this is kind of the wrong place to be, but one nice benefit of the pyramid is that it has nice loot, and maybe those running shoes will help him succeed in some of the other fights that he needs to do. Okay, so Freddy got his last tablet. I think he's setting up before going into the void, making sure he has anything. I don't think he really did any shopping, so hopefully he doesn't need anything that he would have to leave to go back and get. Joe is headed to... Did he go back and save? No, he did not.
He is just
Right.
full all in on this.
Alright, so is he going to go to the final boss? Or is he going to go to the final save point and take on whatever boss is there, which has 65,000 hit points, but does get you a save right before the final boss? That is the question. He might feel like he has to make a risky play in order to win, because he is, at this point in the race, we're 210 in. It's been a rough seed, but all of the racers feel bad about how they played the seed. So Joe might be thinking that he has to play this a little aggressive and risky to have a chance to win. He might think that one or more of his opponents is either, slightly ahead or slightly behind him. And, as long as he's got a good plan, he can pull it off. He's got Mimics, which allows him to save a bunch of MP. He's got Hero Song going, so he can buff up to really high level. And he's got, I hope he has strong AoE summon, which he can spam and then mimic over and over again.
I'm pretty sure he has. I know he has Bahamut, and I'm pretty sure he has Sildra. So we definitely have that AoE available.
Yeah, that's nice. The only thing that I would be, I wouldn't even be worried, because with mimics, you only have to actually cast your spells every once in a while. The rest of the time you're mimicking and you're not using any of your MP, so you can just spam Bahamut to your heart's content and not worry about the MP cost, really. So I think he should be good. White holes would be bad.
Yeah, I was about to mention
that.
that
We've got much protection against that. We have one Aegis shield at least. I don't know if we have any others.
targets Bart's with that white hole, so that's why the animation didn't go off.
Alright, so what Joe's doing right now is he's standing there waiting while his levels go up. Now, he did slow the tree, which is really good. So that means X-Death is getting fewer turns, fewer opportunities to white hole him. What I don't see on Joe's team, though, is Big Guard. I could be wrong, though. I see everyone is hasted. I'm not sure if everyone is Big Guarded. That's another way to dodge white hole, is to have Big Guard up. But it's possible that he's just going all in on summon mimics. You've got so many spell slots if you're a mimic that I would think you would put blue on somebody. But as your level goes up, that's another way to help you dodge white hole, because it does look at level differential. So even without Big Guard, you are getting improving chances to dodge white hole as you sing that hero song. So that's pretty good, and it's working out really well for Joe so far. 0 white holes have hit him.
I'd also like to point
another
out
one missed.
that he is kind of monitoring his level as well, looking at the vitality song heals that it's giving out. Every time he levels up, that number slightly goes up, like 3 or 4 points with the healing every time. And then once he sees 2 consecutive heals go off of the exact same number, he knows he's cap level. So that's when he knows he can start launching off his summons, because he won't have to worry about the level up anymore.
Exactly. So Joe is now level 99 because those regen numbers have stopped increasing. And he can just go ham now with really good damage. he can use Fire 3, he can use Sildra, whatever he wants to use. Oh, he's got the X magic going, and then he can mimic that. And that's gonna be big damage. I thought I actually saw quad 9, but that couldn't have been right. Oh, maybe he's saying Magic Song? Yeah, he's saying
Yeah, this
Magic
is
Song and
wow.
Hero Song. So this is cap damage with the Sildras that he's mimicking. And that's pretty much all he has to do for the rest of Phase 1 and all of Phase 2 is just keep mimicking Sildra.
So this cast should transition him to phase 2.
I didn't even notice that he got the Magic Song. He's not super fast, but that is really the only thing that is not incredible right now about Joe's team. He's got capped level 99 and he's got 99 magic power on everybody. If he is holding a Wizard Rod or an Air Knife, he's able to boost Sildra. And yeah, he's basically hitting damage cap or near it with every single summon. So this is going to be a quick finish once Neo X-Death appears on screen. Now, it's not totally guaranteed, but it would be extremely unlikely that Joe would lose the fight at this point.
So I know one of the things that he could have done, it's more of a min-maxing kind of thing, is he could have waited till everyone's ATB gauge was maxed out before casting that final Sildra. That way, he can just launch 3 back-to-back-to-back Sildras at the start of Phase 2 and kind of flood the queue with 6 Sildra casts.
Yeah, and that would basically end the fight right there as well. So, I mean, he does have to wait for his ATB a little bit, but I don't think Ned is going to get off more than 1 or 2 attacks. So, as long as things don't work out as badly as possible, which was a mimic right there, was not a great start to things, but I still think he's got plenty of margin for error to actually win the fight here.
Yeah, I mean, each spot has 45,000 or 50,000 hit points, so he's already dealt just under half their hit points with 1 cast. Now he's going to mimic for the next 40% and then finish it off with another mimic.
Yep, the back has the most hit points, 60,000, so it might be alive with a few hit points, depending on how this all sort of shakes out. And it could do something like Meteo, but it's incredibly unlikely that it would cause a wipe. So I think Joe's in good shape here, and I expect him to be
This should
done
be right
in
here.
a matter of seconds. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that'll finish off the back. There we go. Okay, well, crack boom. GG's to Judge Joe on winning the first leg of the relay race. It wasn't an easy one. Extremely rude seed. I think Windfox is probably going to dive into the race chat room and either get Joe to join us or perhaps any other racer that might decide to forfeit would be welcome to join us as well. And I heard a ding in my ear. Joe, are you with us?
Yes, I am. That was a seed.
It was a rude seed. How did you feel at the end? Did you feel ahead, behind, or just upset about rudeness?
So, based on locations, I was pretty sure that I was still going to be ahead. But there was always the chance that someone had picked up a tool earlier or set up much better and just knocked out that Omni or had the right song to make Bahamut free, and that would have just I easily could have lost.
Yeah, it was anyone's game. You struggled, but so did the other racers, and in fact, some of them struggled more than you. So it worked out. It worked out for you in the end, but absolutely, it could have gone anybody's way. There were times when was Windfox. Did we ever have all 3 racers in the same place, like Fork Tower?
At almost exactly 1:45 is when all 3 of you converge on Fork Tower at the exact same time.
Yeah, and I mean before that, everybody had trouble with Bahamut. Almost everybody had trouble with Sandworm. You know, people were chasing dead end checks, and I honestly like the hints didn't even make sense. There was like 2 library hints, but there was only one good thing in the library. I don't even know what the heck happened with the with that one hint.
So the way it worked, there was a hint that said the bracelet's in the library, and a hint that said library's path to the void.
Okay, I might my what I wrote down was library path to the void, and then was it in the trench? Did it say bracelet is in the library, or did it say
Uh,
something else?
It was Hiru Valley Town said that. I know this because I went, did the library, flew over, did the check, and immediately was told there's a bracelet at the check I just did.
Oh, okay. Somehow I missed that hint. We were hoping for a good hint down in the trench, but I guess you knew that all of those hints were useless when you read them.
Yeah. I thought about it for a second, went, was the pyramid path, was the pyramid? No, it was not. It was not from library, it was from the sandworm, and I would have to refight the sandworm if I wanted to fight the pyramid.
Yeah, did you ever get the hint that said that deserts have no value?
No, I did not.
That was in Mirage, and when you went to the
I
pyramid,
don't have a Mirage
you were-
radar.
Yeah, okay, so IB Karma got that, and I don't know if Freddy got the
Odin
Mirage
Spot.
radar. Yeah,
Uh,
Odin Spot. Yeah.
I
So
don't think Freddy got it.
we were kind of surprised that you didn't continue through the pyramid, but that turned out to be a really good play on your part because that could have, just been
So
time
the
wasted.
deal was, I looked at my party, I looked at the Minotaur and said, this isn't happening, maybe I'll reconfigure my party. And then I was pre a Sandworm and Hiru call and decided, back Orc we go.
Yeah, well, you were the first person to go to Fork, so you had the right feel of what was needed, but it took everybody multiple tries. I think everybody multiple tries. Yeah, it took everybody multiple tries to get through Fork, and
That was a
you were all going
rude
about it.
show.
Yeah, and Shote too. Shote was in the void, deep in the void with a lot of hit points.
Although
was the hardest
apparently
fight in the
super
void.
boosted level Aegis Shields is good against Shote.
Yeah, Aegis Shields gives you immunity to petrification, so he can never
Okay.
hit you. You attack with an Aegis Shield.
Couldn't remember
equipped.
if Aegis Shield. Right, it's not the instant death, it's the petrify that it protects. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, and it also protects against White Hole because half of White
Yeah.
Hole is petrification. Now, did you happen to have 4 Aegis Shields at the
Yes,
end?
I
wasn't
did.
sure. Oh, good for you. And I know Freddy
They were for
also
sale. I bought a 4-pack because I was. This still was what I was going to consider death by math at the end with Shote spam on the side. And then I got Bahamut. And then the one chest I picked up in Shrine was Sildra. So I didn't.
Well, your end fight was excellent. I mean, cap damage Silder summons is very impressive, and also having the guts to just go ahead forward without going back for a save. You were confident that you had the tools you needed to absolutely destroy, and you did. So kudos on that.
So, looking at my boss tracker, outside of Shote, we have Catastrophe, which I had a time mage with Float. Twintania is free. Hali Canarso, I had my X Magic Fire, so that one's fine. Archeoavis would have been annoying because MP concerns, but outside of that, there's 4 more insta-killable bosses. 5. It was like 6 insta-killable bosses, mostly doable. Guardians, which I had the lamp for, and Shote. So bosses left, I did not think would. Fast
Yeah,
Tree could
they were-
always have a word.
Yeah, we were thinking about potential bosses that were available in the void, and I did come up with both Shote and a panda who you had to fight, but a panda wasn't very tough for you, and you figured out Shote without too much trouble. So yeah, a lot of the nasty bosses were earlier in the seed, like struggling with Leviathan, or some people who found Sandworm down at the bottom of Wall's Tower but didn't have Aquarake. And of course, Bahamut was a rough one that I think everybody bounced off at least once.
Yeah, so Aquarake was for sale. I did not buy it. I was going to go and buy it, head back. I kind of somewhat had an idea. I didn't check too many shops, so I didn't think it would take too long to refind it. And then, well, I went and did the Leviathan fight, and there we go. I had the Aquarake again now.
Yeah, it was quite handy for that. Leviathan loves to spam Aquarake at that particular location, which you saw earlier. So why not do the check and then come back with it? That works out nicely. I will just mention our other racers. No one has forfeited. They're giving it the college try here. Karma has finished Shrine, gotten the last tablet, and is entering the void. Freddy is well into the void. I think he just defeated Shote, so he should be headed to the final fight. Although I was a little distracted just talking with you, Joe. Let's see if he... Give me 2 or 3 seconds and see if... Yeah. So he's headed
Yeah.
to the final fight right now.
He
Did
went
we
with
catch who
Bozo
was at
here.
the Apocalypse spot?
I wasn't paying attention, but I bet
know,
somebody did it.
Freddy did it, but it was probably pretty quick because it was probably another
Yeah, we
free
didn't
fight.
notice.
There's a lot of insta-killable bosses that were on this list. Oh,
Yeah, Karma is on his way. He might end up showing us if he continues to the end. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the setup is. I did see Freddy buy 4 Aegis shields as well, so he should be in good shape. If he's gonna do song buffing like you did, that worked out really nicely. Hero song plus magic song, really good for those spellcasters.
with X Magic, with everyone having a wizard rod or an air knife, just stacks.
Yeah, X magic and then mimicking to save on MP. You could just have pretty much limitless Sildras as needed at the end there. So really good setup, and it was good of you that you recognized, I don't need to go back and save. I've got enough to just trounce this final fight with, almost complete certainty.
What, without the ability to mimic my MP costs, and the fact that a lot of bosses I thought were just going to be one Odin or one Shote, I would have 100% done the Apocalypse spot for the save point so I could tent up, cabin up. But after the Panda spot, I kind of did one last tent and figured I had more than enough MP to set up my Sildra spam, especially I forgot to equip it. I don't think it auto-equipped, but I had looted a gold hairpin. I get that on. But especially with that, I figured I had enough for the last 3 fights and final fight.
You certainly did. Freddy is now buffing up against the tree. It does look like he might have a couple people singing as well. And we had good info from Tybalt in the chat saying that it was Galura at the Apocalypse spot, which is completely free. So Nice easy save for anyone there who wants it.
I didn't exactly save much time there.
Yeah, you didn't, but it was more impressive this way, Joe. You showed competence and confidence, which impressed all the viewers.
I just kind of
just
gotta
saying,
stick
no,
to what I'm
don't
known
need.
for.
Yeah, that's right. Aggressive play, don't need save points. But it was a rough seed. Like I haven't seen one this rough in a while. The hints seemed really good early because they were all Path of the Void hints. Then they sort of exhausted themselves, and you were left with that one tablet, which was pretty much unhinted. I mean, you could argue, I guess, that the branch being, or more forest being Path of the Void meant Fork Tower,
It had a
even
tablet
though you
directly at
already
the
got a
spot.
tablet there. Yeah. So it was a maybe at Fork Tower, but it just happened to be the correct thing. I don't know what WinFox is up to, if you have any particular questions, or if you just want to do a little commentary on what's happening with the other racers.
Yeah, so Freddy looks like he's still just kind of building up his levels with the hero song, using, Vitality Song as that gauge. Karma is on the Panda fight in the Void, pushing through it. Shouldn't be too bad for him. I'm not sure what he's going to do for the shoat when he gets up to the shoat. I know he has the mix and Guild Toss, so he'll probably move over to that as his X-Death win condition.
Absolutely. I misspoke earlier, forgetting that this was a relay. I was like, oh, no one else has forfeited. No, they need to finish these seeds because this is part of the, the 3-leg relay. So, oh gosh, if I was a racer and I got this seed and I actually had to finish it, there were moments I'm sure that all of the racers had that were pretty frustrating. And of course, the racers that are taking longer to complete probably are experiencing even more frustration than Joe did. So kudos to the racers for toughing this out. This has to be finished, and we are getting there. Freddy is looking pretty good, getting some pretty good damage in here. And Karma, he's got the tools. He might just have to reconfigure for Shoat or something. But he's got Guild Toss, Samurai, and he's got Hero Song, so he knows how to finish out the seed when he gets to the end.
Yeah, this seed definitely rolled on the higher end of nasty seeds that we've seen throughout the years. Because these are usually finished in 1:45, And we have our first place finisher 30 minutes later than our average finish times. Like, yikes.
Yep, this is a tough one for sure. Freddie even remarked at the beginning that we had a nice big time slot for this race, and I think we're going to end up using pretty much all of it. Even not expecting that we would need this long, but sometimes that's how it plays out. This was one of the rudest seeds I have seen in quite a long time.
With X-Death in his castle. Thankfully, castles were barren. That was a beautiful, beautiful hint there.
Yeah, Castle's barren. I haven't seen that particular hint in quite a while. It's pretty rare.
Which, that's the first Bow Castle, which I did do, does qualify for that, but the second is a cave.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Karma went there early and got Mirage Radar and got good shopping. Not sure if anyone else went there, but it could have been. Yeah, I don't think anyone else went there, but it could have been a spot of confusion based on that hint if you're not really familiar with how the hint tags work. But I don't think anybody was confused by it, so that's good.
I always had that as a spot in my mind. Was never. I don't know. I never really felt inclined to go there.
I once
But
lost a race because I didn't go there and check that spot. It is fairly quick. It's like second quickest check in World 2, I think. Well, no, maybe I don't know. Third quickest.
getting to, I'd say it's probably third behind Sunken Walls. But it's simply a lot easier than Sunken Walls.
Yeah, and you do need that sub key for Sunken Walls, which is pretty common to have it by that point. But if you didn't have it, then you go Tool Pass and then Odin Spot.
A lot of my early mid-game routing was I got blue, I had level 5 Doom, I had Odin, and that was my offense. Arrow 3, so I'm like, I go through Exdeath's Void Castle to fight Exdeath to get to World 3, but I don't have anything except a sub for World 3 and the Elder Branch, but I have to beat up Bahamut for the Fork side, and I have to fight Exdeath with Odin, which is not fast.
Yeah, it
So
seemed fast at the start because you go to Kuza, you get Summon 4, you get Odin, you start destroying things easily. But then it ended up being not so fast as the Seed wore on.
Yeah. And so I was really, really trying to go and get some sort of unhinted tablet in World 1 or World 2. I had done some early fades and I went, well, I'm cutting back in case it's my tablet, because I don't really... There's a level 2 old sitting in Kuza Castle for me. I don't need to learn it. I can just need a tablet.
Alright, I hate to interject, Joe, but we do have Freddy finishing X-Death. It got a little sketchy there. Looked like getting a little sketchy on the verge of an Almagest going off, but was able to push through the cycle and finish.
GG's, Freddy.
GG's. Yeah, well done. And I also think that he's joined us right away. Freddy, GG's to you.
Oh, GG's. Yeah. That was a
Who
bit
chose the seed value?
of a disaster. I believe that was Karma.
That was Karma, yeah.
Unfortunately, at least he's last, because the seed was pretty awful.
Yeah, there was a lot of rudeness, a lot of struggles. You were given power early. You were given good hints early, and then the seed gave you lots of tough bosses and no hint for that where that last tablet was.
I had a hint for the last. There was 2 hints for the last tablet. It was behind Shrine and it was behind in World 3. So it was probably on Shrine. You just didn't know how to get to Shrine.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, once you got the Shrine page, you knew exactly where to go. It was just finding it, which was the rough part.
I actually probably should have been 10 minutes closer to you, Joe. Like, I spent literally 10 minutes going to every single shop in the game trying to find Aqua Rake for Sandworm. That was pointless. And then I also got RNG'd by... because I had a Berserker on triplets, so my second attempt on Fork, which was after that disaster, my only summon that I got before I got one shot by 2 of them because of my damn Berserker missed the True Edge, so I had to do the entirety of Omni again, who almost trolled me as well the second time around.
Omni was...
I wasted a ton of time.
You guys
took 2 tries at Omni, and then I left and fought Leviathan for the wall ring.
Oh, yeah. Where was Leviathan at?
Giru Valley.
Okay. I never made it to
also-
Hiryu Valley. I completely faded it.
It also got him Aqua Rake. Like, everyone struggled, everyone went to most of the same dead ends, and everyone was at Fork Tower at the same time, at an hour 45. It's just a question of who was going to get through first. Joe got there first. I don't know. I think he might have been the one who cleared it first, but it was after multiple tries. And you and Karma both got really unlucky in Fork Tower 2 with various things that happened that you wouldn't expect would have happened.
Yeah.
I will
We'll
say
see.
Karma probably got the
Karma.
worst roll.
Did he? What
Yeah,
happened?
Karma had mute Spellblade, and Omni still managed to somehow kill him.
So his first cast
no.
on his spellblade was slow, and he happened to go at the exact time that he missed a mute cycle, and he got a lit 2 off and wiped his party.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was extremely unlucky, extremely unexpected, and also then on the other side, just like against triplets, like you had bad luck, Freddy. I think, well, I might have missed it, but Karma wasn't getting true edge from using Odin, even though the chances are really high that it will work against
Yeah.
them.
Karma had 3 Gungnir's go off on triplets, all hitting the same target, and it killed it, and it delta
Cool.
attacked.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. That's some bad RNG too.
I was debating whether to use that newly acquired magic lamp, but I decided at least go once on Odin.
Yeah,
Karma
that's fair.
tried
Would've
to
been a
use
good
the
play.
lamp in desperation, but I think he only got to the second cast before they killed him.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah,
was
it's hard to come
after
back from
already
that.
trying to cast Odin. So yeah, it was just a lot of rude bosses. It was a difficult seed, and there was some bad luck. And you all sort of had bosses that you bounced off of at least once, sometimes more than once. Like even sort of early in the game, Freddy, you bounced off Necro.
Oh
Understandable.
yeah, that
When
was
you had to go back and do-
unfortunate. I'm like, oh, I can probably I kind of waited to do it for a bit. I'm like, okay, I got some power. I have Titan and like 3 minutes. Like I was literally just doing Titan Mimic. That was most of my strats at that point, or with a backup of Odin Mimic. So of course Necro shows up, which neither of those is good against. I ran out of mana for Odin, so I tried to do Shiva to finish, and I got him down to probably like 1,000 hit points, and then got wrecked by him. Ran out of mana. It was just my early game. I could not figure out good ways to kill things outside of summons. I think I also forgot to pick up Rama, which hurt a bit, especially on that fight.
I think all of you were just using Odin or Titan throughout probably the first hour of the seed.
Yeah,
where was
that's all you
where
got.
was anything to dance with? Where
I know.
was any big sword?
I like the ribbon out of the first boss or something. I got a ribbon like the first thing in the game, and nothing to use it on.
I
So I
found a
never
good
found
ribbon.
freelancer or samurai or mix. Like,
So in the pyramid, which Karma went to, had 2 pairs of red shoes, a rainbow suit, mix, and guild toss.
yeah, that checks out.
2 pairs of running shoes, wasn't it? Or did you say red shoes?
Red shoes.
I know there's that.
Yeah, there was also a
running
pair of
shoes,
running shoes
too.
in there.
Yeah.
Also a pair of running shoes. That's where everything was. Never found haste 2 either, did you, Joe?
There's a haste 2 spell in this game?
It
No,
was
I
it was
sure wish
in-
it was.
it was somewhere because not even Karma has it, and he went to Mirage.
Wasn't Mirage either? Okay. Or was
No.
Mirage Radar
There
in
also
that?
was at
Odin's
more
spot.
the chicken
Odin's
knife
spot.
brave blade spot. There was an Excalibur there if you chose the right side, which I don't know if anyone. noticed. I
Okay.
think
No,
one
an
person.
Excalibur would have been better. Dang, I got the Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't have anything to use the
Knight
friggin'
was on
Excalibur
hero
anyway,
value.
so shrug.
Yeah, Excalibur is just okay. I mean, there's a bunch of bosses that absorb holy, but it would have been
Better than
nice.
Ice Brand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely probably better than Ice Rand in almost every case. I'm a little bit
Yeah,
concerned about time, guys. The scheduled next leg of the race. Have we been given any info about when that needs to start?
They still have we had 2:45 for this race, and there was a 15-minute setup block before the next, so kind of just
Okay, I thought we were
I'm
at
currently done in
2:30
a few
with
minutes.
the 15-minute gap, but I guess we're good. So we can talk to Karma. We've got time to talk to Karma after he wins this, and then we can hand off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Fizzle, the powers that be, will cut us off if need be.
Okay.
So yeah, so much for this being a fast seed. Why did I have to say
It was-
You know, about that conversation
It
before
really
the
looked
race.
like it would be.
Yeah, yeah. Usually I'm like, oh, these are like hour and a half, 2 hours. It's fine. Nope, not this seed. But yeah, I
Yeah.
could not figure out.
You could
Even my
played,
in-game strats were rough. Like,
played cleaner. 145 was definitely doable this seed. Just play better.
suppose.
I
Get luckier. I probably could have been stronger for Castlex for Ned. Also, I forgot that Odin's spot was not actually Castle for Baron, so I completely skipped it thinking it was Baron.
Oh, we talked about that. We were wondering if anybody would be a little bit confused by that hint. I guess you were the only one. Well, Karma went there and got Mirage Radar there, and I think he was the only one who got Mirage Radar and got to do the shopping.
Yeah.
So it paid off for him.
What did you do for the for Ted and Ned, Joe? Other than probably mimic with 4 Aegis shields like me.
I had double Sildra for 20k apiece.
Oh, you found Sildra? That's no fair. I wish I had.
So you in Shrine, as you
was
just
it one
keep
of the
on
ones I
heading
skipped?
straight. You keep on heading straight. You accidentally go into this room with one chest. In the chest, Sildra.
Oh, the Beast Killer Whip chest from Vanilla.
Oh,
okay.
that one. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
A lot of people would skip that because they wouldn't want the screen transition.
I didn't want
bother
to go
going
into that room.
Did it on accident. Sometimes accidents are helpful.
Yeah, you
Like-
know, the shrine has given me a lot of good loot over
think-
seeds that I've played.
I think I actually got White Wind out of that and didn't use it once because I just Bahamutted Ned down the whole time.
All right. Well, Karma.
Yeah, by
is
the
running
time
up-
you guys reached the end, you were in good shape. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we have Karma on the final phase of the final fight versus Neo X Death, and he's going to use Guild Toss, so it's going to be over pretty quick.
Yeah. This is gonna be fast.
the
Imagine having Guild Toss.
the traditional way of finishing this for most of us.
One thing that I have not taken a look at on Karma's screen is what his gold total is. It looks like he's going to use the lamp 3 times to save himself some money, maybe? Not sure.
I wasn't even trying to sell things. I guess he went to Mirage.
He has Breakblade also.
Yeah, so he's really trying to save money. He must not have that much cash. So 3 lamps takes out the back, and Breakblade has already taken out the bottom front, sort of. So now if he wants to Guild Toss, he can do that, and there's only 2 targets, so it only costs half as much.
He won't pay that much money at this point.
Yeah, it shouldn't cost him too much anymore. You do have a difference of 5,000 hit points, but it won't matter because 6 Guild Tosses would be required to kill them both. Well, the lamp
did
stuff
There's
is
been
even
some other
even
things.
less.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. He's using some other stuff as well.
14k. I don't.
Yep, and that is it.
There it is.
GG's.
GG's.
And we'll get him in here to talk about his frustration with the seed as soon as possible. Give us just a minute on that. Give him a chance to catch his breath. And I did hear a ding in my ear. IB Karma, GG's to you.
Well, that was not the seed to play after a year of not playing.
Yeah, we've all been talking about how rough that was, and you had it the roughest of anyone. I don't. You just feel free to feel free to vent whatever you want to talk about.
It's not much venting. It's just it didn't give you a lot of tools for the fights it was putting you up against. The
Yeah, there
tools
was
are
a lot
very
of
slim.
yeah, there's a lot of fairly early but also difficult bosses, and you had what seemed like something strong with Summon for an Odin early, but you needed more, and it didn't give you much more than that.
It was just like every time I turned around and went to go do a check, especially once X Death was down, it was just walled.
Yeah, there were some seriously rude checks. Bahamut at Moor Forest was sort of the early rough one. Just trying to do checks, you didn't even know whether they would pan out and be helpful or not. You know, Sandworm down at the bottom of False Tower with huge hit points. Some of the checks some of you guys did, and some of you didn't. Obviously, Fork Tower was just ridiculous, and you got really unlucky there. All three of you were there at the same time, about an hour 45 in. So at that point, it was anyone's game. Joe went there first, and I think probably finished it first, even though it took a few tries.
I just missed
And
the
then both
first
you
lamp.
and you and Freddie both got unlucky on both sides. You had Mute Spellblade, which no one else had, but somehow that didn't work out because of getting slowed
Random
by
slow.
Omni.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
I had to reorg that team just to kind of fight against the slow, and then it was damage light. So I was like, okay, I need white and time somehow on this, along with magic sword, along with a way to damage.
yeah, I don't think we were talking just before you joined us that I don't think anyone found haste 2. So it was single target haste, which is makes things a little slower.
Did anybody else go to Dead Pyramid just to look for stuff and find samurai?
No, you got all the nice stuff. Yeah, we did
Yeah, I
not.
walked in
I
there,
did
I
not at
found like
least. I was.
samurai, freelancer, and a couple other things. I was like, yeah, that's good enough. I'm out.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just blue magic, summoner, time magic for haste mostly. Blue mage, summoner, mimics was most
See,
of my team,
Blizzard,
and a
Fiery
berserker.
Blizzard would have destroyed this seed because it gave Death by Math for free. I just don't know how to do it.
True.
Level
Joe
2
did some death
old was
by math.
free. Doom was free. Yeah, if you knew Death by Math, the seed became a lot easier.
Fiery would not have been able to look at my screen during my death by math.
It was just set it and pray, right? Spam, try and get the timing.
Yeah, I tried for the timing. Outside of like the first time I ever tried it, I've never once been able to get the timing down since.
That's
Yeah,
all
I
right.
should have probably gotten the stuff
It
for
didn't
X
take
Death.
that long. You tried like 3 or 4 times or something,
I
and then you
didn't
got it.
wipe, so yeah.
Yeah.
It was
The funny
surely
thing actually
shorter
was,
than my fight.
yeah, Freddie, your said fight was extremely slow. Windfox was cheering you on because you were doing Berserker, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Berserker with white and singing
That,
support, and it took a while.
that berserker carried the crap out of me this scene. Like
I
that was
I
my
like to
choke
appreciate.
see that.
damage. That was my uh what was the fight a couple fights before shoot on the void? Like I pretty much
Panda.
just pretty
Panda.
much the berserker soloed. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Panda
maybe
also soloed.
probably a panda. Yeah, the beast, Artemis doing work on those beasts.
Yeah.
That
I
was
do remember,
Odin.
yeah, I do remember early in the seed, Joe fighting that darn library book to learn level 5 Doom. He got the
Oh,
bad, he got the bad book roll and had to kill every page with every page
Odin.
with
Yeah.
Odin.
Odin. Odin.
Let's go Odin.
Odin. Odin.
How'd you have that much mana still?
Well, see, I was level 9.
My first boss clear was Ball Castle in World 2.
Hey, mine too.
I found Conjure
you
and
did.
Odin.
I just slashed it. Yeah.
That was a great way to get a bunch of levels early on. So
My
that was sort
Balcastle
of
ran away from my Odin.
All right, I
Yeah.
hate to be that guy, but I did receive the ping to wrap this up. We did go over estimate. We need to get set up for
Yep.
the next run.
That's fair.
Okay.
We do
Yep.
tend to be long-winded in these
Well,
posts.
well, it wasn't just that. It was just the seed ran longer than we anticipated. Usually these are like an hour and a
Yeah.
half to 2 hours. So if anybody's watching this and panicking, this is what we would deem like a hell seed. Don't panic. Usually they're like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
So
We
good
required
luck
40
to the next leg in the relay. I sure it'll be a lot of fun to watch as well.
You get them a 30-minute lead, so 15 and 30.
All right, with that, I think we're gonna call it here. Thank you, Freddie, Karma, and Joe for running FF5 Career Day, for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Marathon, supporting the Liam Foundation, Dryzelizer, co-commentator for the stream, Sunflash Rune doing the restreaming. This is his shift for restreaming, and Fizzle, being our host, reading off donations when they came in, and shoutouts and all the incentives that were available and everything going on. I think from here we're gonna pass it over to you, Fizzle, to sign us off for this run and prep for the next run.
All right. Thank you very much for a very well executed, if a little infuriating run of Final Fantasy V Career Day. Coming up next, we have Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. In the meantime, just a reminder that this marathon is in support of the Liam Foundation. Originally started back in 2015, their mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Their current work includes new events at their recently opened center. As of June of 2023, their events include open mic nights, name change clinics, adult peer support groups, and more. So if you like what you see, go ahead and give a donation. All proceeds go to a worthy cause. And with that, I'm going to be signing off for the night, but we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stick around for more randomizer action. We'll be right back.